Welcome everyone. In today's session, in level 1 of Paramashivoham, Bhagavan is going to give you the most powerful weapon for your spiritual practice. At the end of the day, this whole game that we are playing is to subdue the mind, which is nothing but a collection of thoughts, unconscious, unaware, negative, powerless thoughts that tends to pull you down and not allow you to experience the true nature of yourself, which is the state of eternal bliss, Nithyananda. So in today's session, in Paramashivoham, we will be introduced to one of the greatest contributions of the avatar to humanity, which is the unclutching practice. The nature of the mind is to clutch on to negative, powerless thought currents, which tend to pull you down. So the way out is to unclutch. If you were to look for a dictionary definition of the word unclutch, you may probably not find it because this has been coined by the avatar himself. Welcoming all of you to the introduction to unclutching, the training by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramamashivam. So are you all ready to get empowered with the best spiritual weapon in your seeking? It is about unclutching. Yes, Nityananda Guru Prasadini. We're beginning with the introduction to unclutching. Unclutching is the ultimate spiritual truth. This process, unclutching, can directly upgrade your very consciousness. What is the space of unclutched? Unclutching is a space of complete restful awareness where you are not clutching on to any thought or emotion. A blissful, complete inner space, which is restful and aware, is the unclutched space. If you look into your inner space, more often than not, you will see the non-stop inner chatter that is going on, where there are unconscious, unaware stream of thoughts, totally illogical, random, unconnected to each other, but nevertheless there. Or you are clutching onto some emotion, some depression, some suffering, some pain, anger, guilt, fear, isn't it? So when your inner space is bereft of all these emotions and thoughts, you will be in complete restful awareness, and that is unclutching. When you are being unclutched, you are not transferring the stress and load created by one thought to the other thought and carrying that load constantly. Generally, like I said earlier, it is a stream of thoughts. It starts with something and then goes on pouring over its essence, its emotion, the load, the stress, all of it to the next thought, and you are continuously carrying that load, isn't it? When that is not happening, you are being unclutched. Bhagavan says, unclutching is easy. It is the most simplest and yet the most powerful technique for all sadhaks, seekers, to experience the state of nirvikalpa samadhi. Unclutching is easy. Why? Because you are the one who is creating a thought, isn't it? You have the power to bring a new thought, which means that you also have the power to drop the old thought. When you have the power to bring a new thought, you also have the power to drop the old thought. If a thought can be made to leave your system once, it can be done again and again. And if you can replace a thought 10 times, the 11th time it will not come. The frequency will come down. So the question may happen, why are thoughts bad? See, Bhagavan says thinking is different, and the thoughts that we are talking about, referring to here, are different. Because this thoughting, we are referring to the unconscious, unaware, negative, powerless inner chatter that doesn't allow you to settle in that space of complete restful awareness. Thinking itself is a very active process where you will be building your authentic life image, authentic inner image, authentic outer image, and authentic others image. It is a conscious process which needs your complete presence and intelligence. When the thoughting drops, you will have the space for authenticity to manifest in your life because you will be engaging with active thinking process. We are referring to the unconscious negative thought patterns that happen inside you. So this is the context in which we are talking about when these kind of thoughts, which are depressing thoughts, can be made to leave your system once. It can be done again and again. And if you can replace those thoughts 10 times, the 11th time it will not come. The frequency will come down. Yes, Madhur Prasadini? Yes, yeah, thank you. So let's now do a small exercise. Take 2 minutes. Pen down all the thoughts that are coming up in your inner space without editing. Do it as an experiment. If you think no thoughts are coming, write that also. Simply start transcribing your mind. No need to judge any thought. You're not going to show it to anybody. It is for you to understand how your mind functions. Please pick up your paper and pen and start transcribing your mind. Pen down all the thoughts that are coming up in your inner space. This will help you understand the process of your thinking, the thoughting. Whatever is coming up, please pen it down. Don't label a thought right, wrong, good, bad, smart, dumb, nothing. Simply start penning down all the thoughts that are happening in your inner space. Whatever thoughts are coming up, start penning them down. Start writing down all your thoughts.
நித்யானந்தா 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 தந்தது எந்தனை கொண்டது உந்தனை சதுரரும் யார் கொலோ ஆனந்தேஸ்வரா தந்ததும் கொண்டதும் உனையன்று எவரிந்து சர்வமும் காணோய் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரா நித்யானந்தா 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 புத்தியை பெருமுன் சக்தி அடைந்திடில் துயர் தொடராதோ ஆனந்தேஸ்வரா சக்தியும் புத்தியும் சேர்ந்திட பக்தியால் முக்தி அடைவார் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரா
நித்யானந்தா Start writing down all the thoughts that are coming up in your inner space without editing. We're doing this small exercise to understand the process of thinking. Take a minute and read what you wrote. Stop writing. Just read what you have written. Start reading whatever you have written. You will realize that you are nothing but a bunch of unconnected, independent, illogical, unclutched thoughts. There is really no connection between one thought and the other thought. Do you see that pattern there? Makimli, Madhu Prasadini, can I have an acknowledgement? Yes, thank you. You are not aware, but you constantly believe that you are aware. Bhagavan says, every single moment of your life which passes without your presence is suffering. Every single moment which passes by without your awareness, without your conscious presence is actually suffering. The Shastra Pramana is from the Sarvajnanottaragama knowledge section, 2nd chapter, the direct blissful experience of absolute oneness with Shiva, Sutra number 40. It says, Vidasya Vishaya Sangha Manovrittim Vihayacha Yada Yat Unmanibhavam Tada Tat Paramam Sukham. The translation goes, within the refined seeker who has set aside all sorts of associated thoughts related to worldly pleasures and objects, and who has transcended the fluctuations and modifications sustained by the mind, a significant state known as Unmanibhava gets unfolded. When such a significant state dawns in him, there occurs supreme ineffable bliss to him. Unmanibhava is a particular transcendental plane of consciousness above the Brahmarandra. So this is the Shastra Pramana for unclutching. The Apta Pramana is from Patanjali Yoga Sutra Samadhi Pada, verse number 8. It says, Viparyayo Mithya Gnanam Atadrupa Pratishtam. The translation, interpreting based on past conditioning, leads to misconception or wrong understanding. The Atma Pramana is from Bhagavan's life, where he is narrating his experience of oneness with Arunagiri Yogeshwara. In quote, I read, Bhagavan says, I ran and stretched my hand to touch Sri Arunagiri Yogeshwara. Since his form was so big, my hand fell on his body. He also stretched his hand. The moment my hand touched his hand, exactly at that moment I experienced, I saw clearly, he is me, I am him. It was just pure oneness, pure oneness. That unclutching had happened exactly at that moment. After that, I neither missed him nor I saw him separately. And that is the exact moment the unclutching, the pure Advaita, happened experientially. So with all of those evidences from the Shastra, Apta, and the Atma Pramana from Bhagavan's life, we will now go on to understand the functioning of the mind, how our thoughts become thought shafts. This is a very beautiful depiction of the independent thoughts. See, the black thoughts here, which has been labeled pain, P, are the painful thoughts. Some thoughts are joyful, some have mixed components of joy and pain, like this. What happens is your mind tends to connect all the painful thoughts together and create a pain shaft. Collecting only all the suffering related incidents and creating a shaft is a pain shaft. Anyone whom you talk to, how's life? It's going on. You know, anybody else in my place, they would have left long back. They would have committed suicide. People take pride in telling how much of pain they have gone through in life. The truth is that both the pain shaft and the joy shaft are lies. See, more often than not, we tend to collect only the pain shaft and say life has been a long drama of pain and suffering. Sometimes, rarely, we tend to collect all the joyful incidents together and create a shaft that is known as the joy shaft, which happens very rarely. You create a joy shaft. Both shafts are not true. Your opinion about life as either pain shaft or joy shaft will stay only as long as you are unconscious when you are not aware. When you become aware, you will understand that each of those happenings are independent happenings, independent incidents, and in your unconsciousness and unawareness, you're trying to put it all together and creating a shaft which you go on elongating. The first thing that happens when we unclutch will be an inner healing effect, a deep silence and peace inside us. When you don't hold on to these thoughts, you will be in the space of complete restful awareness. There will be a deep silence and peace inside you, which in turn will have a profound healing effect. The good news is that, fortunately, you can have only one thought at a time. A simple thought to have a cup of coffee can actually replace the powerful fear of death when you're afraid of something. If you can just replace that fearful thought with, hey, let's have a cup of hot coffee, you can do it, isn't it? The only thing that you need to do is decide that till those fearful thoughts stop, you will go on replacing it. And that is the good news, that you can have only one thought at a time. You becoming aware of that thought is the very first step. The moment you become aware, you can drop those thoughts and you can actually create powerful thoughts, entertaining thoughts, joyful thoughts. And that is the good news. Let us watch this small compilation of the nature of the mind. Just give me a minute, I'll get back with this.
The brain is the organ which controls our whole physical being. Once our brain has been imbalanced, it will then transmit that imbalance throughout the whole body. Thought forms are pure energy that have the ability to influence people and everyday events in life. According to science, our brains generate an electromagnetic field which may be measured with such instruments as an encephalograph. This electromagnetic field is generated by the brain every time we think, and as our mind is never still, we may be compared to perpetual power generators. Fear produces nervous disorders. Anger produces headaches and violence. Confused thoughts produce condition and ill health. Depression causes cancer, tumors, mental diseases, and lowering of the immune system causes death through own willpower. Our thoughts generate intricate energy patterns which can be detected by sensitive equipment and seen by clairvoyant individuals. These energy patterns are known as thought forms. Surprisingly, thought forms are shaped by the thoughts themselves. Each of us creates hundreds of thought forms every hour and release them into the environment. Although we cannot see them, the thought forms have as real an existence as any other form of energy. Most people can sense others' thought forms, and a continuous energetic exchange happens between people about which they are usually unaware. This also explains why we sometimes take a sudden liking or dislike to a certain person directly on meeting them. We just catch the vibes. Unclutching is a guide for equanimity and enlightenment. Thoughts are like bubbles in a fish tank. Just as bubbles in a fish tank rise from the bottom, our thoughts also rise in the same manner. When one bubble comes and reaches the surface of the water, the next bubble starts and the third bubble starts. Because the bubbles are rising at high speed, they look like a continuous stream. But our mind is not a continuous stream. There is always a gap between two thoughts. Like the bubbles, we also experience a neutral space between two thoughts. This neutral space between two thoughts is our original state, the pure silence. It is a state of pure consciousness, the state of God. Since the gap or the neutral space between two thoughts is too small, we think all thoughts are connected and form a shaft. But there is always a gap between two thoughts. In the forest of northern India, the hunters trap the birds using a trap. They tie a rope between two trees. The rope is a shaft that we create by connecting two thoughts. In the middle of the rope, they secure a wooden stick. The stick is our mind. The rope is tied at the midpoint of the stick. When a bird comes and sits on the stick, the bird's own weight turns the whole stick upside down. It turns topsy-turvy. The moment it turns upside down and loses its sense of balance, it feels totally shaken and tightens its grip on the stick. It simply holds onto the stick as if its life depends on it. Similarly, we connect thoughts and form a shaft out of it and live in fear that if we drop our mind, we might be lost. We might lose our identity. Because it is hanging upside down, it thinks, if I unclutch from this stick, I will fall and die. It's similar to the fear that if we start trusting that we are unconnected, unclutched, independent and illogical thoughts, we might be lost. If the bird lets go and relaxes, it may flutter to balance for a moment or two. When it leaves the stick, maybe for a few seconds, it will fall, but then it will adjust itself and start flying. In the same way, we hold on to whatever we think is our identity and security, our education, our mind, our life, our relationships, or our bank balance. Ultimately comes to remove the stick that is our identity. Just like the bird, we don't realize that if we drop our mind, at that moment, we can become a Paramahamsa. That very moment, we can be liberated. In Mundaka Upanishad, there is a story which explains, there is a huge tall tree, and in the tallest branch of the tree, there is a golden bird sitting unclutched from everything in bliss, like Dakshinamurti. In the lower level branch, there is a small bird which jumps from here and there to various branches eating fruits. When it eats a bitter fruit, it feels bad. Whenever she eats the bitter fruit, she sees the bird which is looking above, silently, like Dakshinamurti, and feels, why I should not be like that bird. But unfortunately, when the same bird, when it eats tasty fruit, it forgets the bird sitting above it. In the same way, she keeps battling between branches, eating bitter and tasty fruits again and again. One day, as a small bird flies up higher, and as it reaches near the golden bird, it realized that he and she are the same. There is no difference between them both, and realizes her original state. The small bird realizes that she also can be in the same state of the golden bird and become a Paramahamsa. This moment, trust yourself. Don't bother about losing your identity. Just trust yourself and let go of your identity. You will immediately become a Paramahamsa and be liberated. All you need to do is to trust that you're unclutched. Dropping the conclusions you can't be transformed is unclutching.
We'll continue. Understand? When you're not transferring the stress and the load created by one thought to the other thought and carrying that load constantly, you are unclutched. McKinley is asking what is unclutching. Unclutching is not transferring the stress and load created by one thought to the other thought. You are in an unclutched state. Your thoughts are happening as an unconscious, unaware process continuously in your inner space. If you were to take a moment and witness those thoughts, you will see that most of these thoughts are irrational, unrelated, illogical, independent thoughts, but we tend to connect thoughts and believe that, but 1 second. You tend to connect these thoughts, believing that they're all productive for your life. But unfortunately, it is such an unconscious process. You don't even have to think like that. It is happening in that sense, in a very unconscious, unaware way. Unclutching is understanding that the thoughts are all independent, unconnected, illogical. You not creating thoughts, you not maintaining thoughts, you not destroying thoughts. Just become aware and witness those thoughts as a third party. We tend to engage with our thoughts. We clutch on to our thoughts. When you don't do either of that, don't even bother to maintain a thought. Don't even try to destroy a thought. Simply witness the thought. Become aware. You will experience the silence between the thoughts. More and more gap will happen between one thought and the next thought. And then that is the unclutched state. You're not passing on the load of the previous thought to the next thought. You're being unclutched. Is that good, McKinley? Can I have an acknowledgement, please? Yes, thank you. Deeper understandings on unclutching, the 9 levels of unclutching and 3 types of unclutching by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyānanda Parāmashivam. When a thought rises in you, without supporting it, encouraging it, entertaining it, or being entertained by it, relax from it. Please understand, when a thought rises in you, without entertaining it and without being entertained by it, without encouraging it, without being excited by it, just relaxing is unclutching. If you start relaxing from the thoughts which are rising, you will experience freedom from the identity which you created. Understand, your mind is already unclutched. Buddha says very beautifully, the original mind is Nirvana. Mind, as it happens, is already unclutched. This is the Apta Pramana about the true nature of the mind, which is already unclutched as told by Buddha. Nirvana. The Shastra Pramana, Nirasya Vijaya Sangha Manovritin Vihayacha, is from the Sarvajnanottaragama knowledge section, 2nd chapter, the direct blissful experience of absolute oneness from the Shiva Sutra. We already went through this Shastra Pramana in the previous segment. So I'll move forward. Bhagavan is quoting his own experience as the Atma Pramana. When I fell from the horse during the horse riding and fractured my hand, just all I need to do is unclutching from that pain. I could see very clearly body was healing at least 5 times more faster than the normal speed of healing. I tell you, I really felt so joyful. I really felt happy for my body. I thought, wow, what a body to live with. He's talking about how unclutching from the body pain, Bhagavan could clearly see that the body was healing at least 5 times more faster than normal speed of healing. Of course, Bhagavan is in an unclutched space always, even soon after the fall. There was no sign of pain. He just woke up from the ground, looked at his hand and he said, there is a fracture, just let's go to the hospital to attend to it. He did not even want anesthesia or any painkiller because there was no clutching with any sensation whatsoever in the body, forget even pain. So he's going on to narrate the various levels of unclutching. The first is unclutching from your outer world. When you unclutch from the difficulties, stress, sufferings, suffocation created by name, fame, money that you achieve, the ultimate wealth, that is when you achieve the ultimate wealth, which is the extra free inner space. Unclutch from your outer world identity. All your so-called name, fame, the wealth that you have created, the difficulties, the sufferings, and the suffocation that comes with all of that. When you unclutch, you will achieve the ultimate wealth, which is your inner space that is free from all this load. The second level of is unclutch from the outer world identities. Outer world identities that you carry, your social identity, your professional identity, racial identity, national identity. Sometimes you identify yourself based on your religion, your country, your race, your caste, your community, your creed. Unclutching from all that is the second level of unclutching. The third level of unclutching is unclutching from thoughts, all the verbalization and the visualization that is happening inside you. When you look in, the verbalization, the visualization happening inside you are all thoughts. Even when you're not talking out, you are talking inside, isn't it? The thoughts will always have a subtle movement in your tongue. When words and thoughts are happening inside, even though you're not talking it out, you will notice small subtle movements inside your tongue. In the same way, all visualizations also will have thoughts happening inside in your inner space, which will be associated with the movement of your eyeballs. When you have to stop both the verbalization and visualization, the way of doing it is just visualize that your eyeballs have become stone, rock solid, stone. All visualization will stop. When the visualization stops, thoughts stop. Similarly, the tongue, just lock your tongue by lifting it up to touch the palate. Simply lock the tongue, all verbalization will stop and thoughts will stop. Even the boredom, feeling bored, feeling restless is also one more thought, one more verbalization, one more visualization. The fourth level of unclutching is unclutch from your own emotions, emotions of pain and pleasure. When you unclutch from pain and pleasure, not only are you free from it, what follows is that your health will improve drastically when you unclutch from your emotions of pain and pleasure. The fifth level of unclutching is from the inner world identities, like parental conditioning, what you believe yourself to be, your ahankara, and what you project yourself to be. Sorry, the mamakara and the ahankara. Mamakara is what you believe about you as you inside you. The ahankara is the idea that you project about yourself to others. You just need to unclutch from both of these identities. That is the fifth level of unclutching. The sixth level is unclutch from biomemories, which means the very patterns that you are carrying. If you unclutch from the patterns to the extent till you realize there is no patterns in reality. In reality, you are alone. In reality, you are just existing. Kevala. Sixth level of unclutching. Just internalize these. We will be working on all of these truths during the course of the day. All right? You're just getting acquainted with the various levels of unclutching. The sixth level is unclutching from the biomemories, all the patterns that you are carrying. Seventh level of unclutching is unclutching from the body itself. Please understand, when you unclutch from your body, thousands of disorders that you create for yourself, like arthritis, blood pressure, all of this will completely disappear. The eighth level of unclutching is unclutching from the idea of time. Unclutch day, night, morning, evening, midnight. Go on unclutching. Unclutch from the idea of boredom, feeling restless. Unclutch from the idea of time. I tell you, time is the greatest myth and the worst conditioning that you are carrying. Actually, there is no such thing as time. Time is an illusion which has become a part of your consciousness itself. So, unclutch from the idea of time. Bhagavan says, actually, there is no such thing as time. Sun rises, sun sets. Moon rises and moon sets. Stars move. Planets move. Life moves. That's all. Where is time? You rise, live, and disappear. That's all. Where is time? Time is one of the myths like clothes. You forget that the human body does not come with clothes. How many of you remember that? I tell you, none of us remember human body comes to the planet Earth without clothes and goes out without clothes. We think that the human body comes with clothes and goes with clothes. Just like a cloth, the time is an illusion which has become a part of your biomemory. Time is an illusion which has become a part of your very consciousness itself. In the big picture of life, there is no such thing as time. So just unclutch from time. The ultimately, the ninth level of unclutching is unclutching from the very idea I. Unclutch from the very idea I. The ninth level unclutching is from the very idea I. The very idea I is the source of everything that you experience and you perceive. Unclutch from the I and discover your space of complete restful awareness. Understand, in every level of unclutching, in every aspect of unclutching, you will experience some new free dimension of you. You will experience some extraordinary experiences of expressions. I tell you, all the auspicious things of life and beyond life is achieved just by this one process called unclutching. Because the benefits and experiences you will have, simply, you will move to the next level and experience all the 9 levels. Please use this technique and work with it. When you're told unclutch from all this, you'll feel, then how am I going to live my life? How am I going to pay my bills? Where's the money going to come from? All of these impossibilities your mind will start throwing at you. Don't listen to it. Start practicing. When you start practicing, you will see that you are living your life much better than what you were doing it earlier. You will start living a magical life because you will be free from the clutches of your mind, which tends to pull you down. You will experience a new level of freedom, spontaneous intelligence and creativity, which will make you more and more successful in life. Unclutching itself is a meditation, Mark. She's asking, is unclutching attainable by meditation? Unclutching itself a meditation. In fact, you will be guided with a meditation technique, which you can sit and do in the initial part till the time you get the hang of it. After that, you will start living an unclutched life. You will be doing everything. It's not that you'll only be sitting under some banyan tree or in the Himalayas and practice unclutching. No, you will live your life every moment, doing all your responsibilities, doing your job, being a very productive, useful person for the society, but deep inside, you're not clutched on, you're not bound by anything. That is the power of this technique. You will experience the best of health, you will manifest more wealth, you will have the best relationships. At the same time, deep inside, that silent inner space, which is so calm and peaceful, you will experience the power of inner healing for yourself, and everybody around you will also be the beneficiaries of your unclutched state. Okay? Let's listen to Bhagavan.
Today's webinar subject, unclutching.
few basic truths about life, few basic sacred secrets about life. What is life? What for life? More and more you try to seek answers for these questions, you become seeker. More and more you try to answer these questions for others, you become philosopher. But these questions remain untouched forever, because each one has to discover the answer inside them for these questions. For the outer world comforts, you don't need to reinvent whatever is already invented. You can use the same thing. But for the inner world enlightenment, you need to discover your religion individually and independently. These questions, what for life is, what is life, what for life? These questions raise the intensity of life in you, brings authenticity to your living. I discovered answers to these questions inside me. But I will not do the mistake of giving you answer. I'll give you the process through which you can discover the answer within yourself. Please understand, if I give you the answer, it will not be your own answer. Any philosophy given ready-made, like a teaspoon feeding, is not going to become part of you. It's not going to be enlightening you. It may be a philosophy. It may be a bookish knowledge. Maybe you can be like a librarian, sitting with it. But it is not going to become part of your life. My answer to this question, what is life, what for life, will nowhere be useful for you. You need to find your own answer. I can only give you the process. The process I'm offering to all of you to find answers for the basic questions of life is unclutching. Understand this word unclutching. This word does not exist in Oxford Dictionary. Please understand, this word is my contribution to the English language itself. And for the English language itself, this word is my contribution, because this word does not exist in Oxford Dictionary. It does not exist. One day early morning, like intuition, suddenly this word has flowered in me as a Mahavagya. Mahavagya means the ultimate truth, the ultimate statement. Each Mahavagya is the punch dialogue from one Upanishad. It's a punch from one Upanishad. Each tradition has their own Mahavagya. There are so many Mahavagyas. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, Brahmaivahamasmi, Ayamanma Brahma. In Saiva tradition, Saiva Sampradayas, Shivoham. There are so many Mahavagyas. Please understand, this word, unclutching, is the ultimate spiritual truth. This process, unclutching, can directly upgrade your very consciousness. Today, through this webinar, I will present unclutching as a technique, method to upgrade your consciousness, raising your inner space. When you upgrade your consciousness, raise your inner space, become more authentic, hundreds of good side effects happen. Like you become healthy, you become wealthy, you become a leader, you become more intelligent, you become more balanced. Thousands of things happen in you as a side effect of upgrading your consciousness. Today, I'll present unclutching as a powerful process to upgrade your consciousness. Understand these three words, then you will be able to catch the truth of unclutching. Clutching, disclutching, unclutching. Clutching, disclutching, unclutching. Clutching means, holding, getting attached. Disclutching means completely getting disconnected, breaking. Unclutching means moving back to clutch anytime when it is needed. Understand? When you shift your gears, you need to unclutch. Disclutching onto disclutching means it can be breaking. Even if the gearbox breaks, the gears break, if the shaft breaks, disclutching can happen. But after the disclutching, the possibility for clutching again may not exist. Here, with unclutching, you move out, but to unite again whenever is required. Continuously, you are clutched to your body, to your mind, to your emotions, with so many things. Now, I can say even with your Facebook identity, Twitter identity, even with your Twitter name, you identify yourself, clutch yourself. With Facebook identity, you clutch yourself. You clutch yourself with thousands of things. The ideas your mind creates, the idea of joy, idea of pain, idea of pleasure, with so many things, you clutch, unclutching, even if it is practiced sincerely in a very small level, brings so much of awakening in you. Please understand, even very little level, if you can practice unclutching, it brings So much of awakening. What is unclutching? Let me describe just in few statements. I have described about unclutching for hundreds of hours in my various discourses. Everything is available in the YouTube. I sincerely recommend all the seekers to spend a little time in YouTube, in my channel, Life Bliss Foundation. You can hear hundreds of hours of my descriptions and discourses on unclutching. I've given thousands of definitions of unclutching. Even in the Twitter, I've defined 55 definitions of unclutching. Now I'll give you a very simple, straight process of unclutching. When a thought arises in you, without supporting it, encouraging it, entertaining it, or being entertained by it, relaxing from it. Please understand. When a thought arises in you, without entertaining it, and without being entertained by it, without encouraging it, without being excited by it, just relaxing. If you start relaxing from the thoughts which are raising, you will experience freedom from the identity which you created. Please understand. Experiencing freedom from the identity you created means healing thousands of wounds you are carrying inside. Millions of possibility for pain, suffering you are carrying inside. Constantly, you create shaft of thoughts with thoughts of pain, joy, pleasure, shaft of thoughts. Please understand. The center, each block is an independent thought. First you have pain, then joy and pain mixed, then pain and joy mixed, then pain, joy and pain mixed, joy. Kind of a different thoughts. Please understand the center. Each block is considered as one thought. I'm trying to visually describe. Each block is one thought, each block is one thought. By putting all these blocks continuously, you create a shaft. You can name that shaft as a mind, or ego, or identity, whatever you want, you can call it. Your inner shaft, your mind is made up of many independent thoughts. But unfortunately, you don't have awareness to look at your mind as it is. Buddha says very beautifully, original mind is Nirvana. Mind as it happens is already unclutched. But unfortunately, you pick up from the independent thoughts and create your own short view about yourself. Very narrow idea about your life. You don't look at your mind as it is happening. You don't look at your life as it is happening.
Bhagavan elaborating in detail what unclutching is all about. Dissociating from your thoughts and just witnessing your thoughts, not engaging with your thoughts, is being unclutched. From the various identities, from the various emotions, all of that, right? So we'll continue. Unclutching from the luxury activities, like activities which may not be required for your life, which you do as a luxury, like playing video games. These are luxurious activities. Unclutch. Unclutch from existential activities. Your body will be performing those activities. The sufferings and the stress caused by those activities will not be there in your body when you unclutch even from existential activities. It is not that your body will not perform them, but all the trauma, the suffering and the stress caused by those activities will not be there. Third level is unclutching from the survival activities. Even the basic survival activities like food, eating, sleeping, unclutching even from those things. Your body may continue the activities that are necessary for survival, but again, the stress and the suffering around it will not be there. Okay, so let's do this internalization exercise. Write down all the activities in your life and categorize them as luxurious activities, existential activities, and survival activities. Please go ahead and pen them down. The various activities that you're doing in your life will fall under these few categories, 3 categories, isn't it? Basic survival, for your existence, and for your luxury. Please start penning them down. All internalization exercises have been devised such that you will get very deep clicks when you start writing them. So please don't miss. I'm giving you 5 minutes to do this exercise. Please utilize the time well.
ஆதியும் அந்தமும் இல்லா ஆனந்த ஜோதியும் நீயே அனந்தீஸ்வரா வேதியர் யாவரும் கூடி துதித்திடும் வேள்வியின் வடிவே அனந்தீஸ்வரா நித்யானந்தா 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 அகமதன் இருளை ஜகமதன் மருளை அகற்றிடும் அருளே அனந்தீஸ்வரா இகமதில் நிலை பெற ஜகமதம் யாவிலும் இறைப்பரும் பொருளே அனந்தீஸ்வரா நித்யானந்தா 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 ஊழியில் வாழ்வினை சூழ்வினை மூழ்கிடும் ஆனந்த ஆழியே அனந்தீஸ்வரா வாழ்மனம் கொண்ட தாழ்வினை நீக்கி பரமபதம் அருள் அனந்தீஸ்வரா நித்யானந்தா.
Your survival activity is the food that you eat. You need to sleep, right? All of those are survival activities. Existential activity. As your existence, what is it that you're engaging with in life? Your profession, the work that you do. All of that are existential activities. Luxury, going out for vacation, for parties, movies, all of that becomes luxury. Your existential activity would be all the physical exercise that you do to maintain your body health, which would include yoga, gymming, walking, jogging. Look into your life and whatever actions that you are engaging in, categorize it under these three headings: luxury, existential, and survival. Unclutching from all of these activities, you will experience that immense, expansive inner space that is devoid of all the stress and suffering related to these activities. It is not that you will stop doing them, but when you're performing all of these activities from an unclutched space, your body will be doing it all, but you will not be going through the pain, suffering, the trauma, the stress, and the load of it all. So you may start unclutching as a meditation to begin with, but by and by, all your actions you will perform from an unclutched state. That is the power of this technique. Like a lotus leaf, even though it is in a pond of water, will never get wet. Like that you will live your life. Are you all done with the exercise? Please let me know if you would need more time. Okay. I take the silence as an acknowledgement to the fact that you're done with the exercise. It's the playlist with all the videos on unclutching that Bhagavan was referring to. Please do make a note of it and watch them all, because like we said, there are thousands of definitions for unclutching. Any one which clicks for your mindset, you can use that to experience that space of Nirvikalpa Samadhi for yourself. Also, the book Why Meditation from Paramashivoham.org/gifts is a gift from this session. I will put up the link of it in the chat box. Both the links are here. Please go ahead and download the same. We will now move into the next presentation on unclutching, which is unclutched from depression. These truths were delivered by Bhagavan on the 23rd of September 2012. Understand that separation from being absorbed with suffering is termed as feeling connection. And this has to be practiced with conviction, with an insight that does not pull you down. Understand? Do not deviate from your spiritual practice. Let me give you the sacred secrets of the verse that Bhagavan Sri Krishna reveals from the verse, chapter number 6, verse 23. Tam vidyad dukkha samayoga viyogam yoga samnitam sa nischayena yoktavyaha yogo nirvinna chetasa is the verse. Bhagavan is elaborating on it. He says, first, separating yourself from the suffering is sadhana. Normally what happens when you're going through a certain painful situation? You become the pain, you become the suffering, isn't it? You start believing it that you are suffering. The first thing is separate yourself from the suffering, and that is sadhana. Second, the separation happens only when you have the feeling connection towards something which never brings suffering to you, what we call in Sanskrit as bhakti, feeling connection. You will be able to separate yourself from the suffering only when you have a feeling connection with a higher existence, something which never brings suffering to you, what we know as bhakti in Sanskrit. The third, do not deviate from that bhakti and feeling connection Otherwise, we will be pulled down. These three basic sacred secrets is revealed by Bhagavan in this verse. Let the sadhana not be a choice. Let sadhana be the survival need. Do not break the regular spiritual practice of unclutching yourself from suffering. One of the biggest mistakes is they think, oh, why unnecessarily sit and unclutch? I will just remember Swamiji and he's there all the time in my heart. Even if you don't do sadhana, but if you don't do sadhana, even your feeling connection with Swamiji, that bhakti towards him will naturally be destroyed. This is the importance of sadhana. The sadhana, the spiritual practice. He's telling, don't be under the wrong impression that, oh, anyway, Swamiji is there in my heart. Why do I need to do all these practices? If you get onto that road, ultimately what happens is that your feeling connection with the source will dwindle if there is no sadhana, if there is no spiritual practice. The feeling connection, the bhakti towards him will naturally be destroyed. It is only by sadhana that the feeling connection is strengthened and you grow. It is only by sadhana the feeling connection is strengthened and you grow. If you stop the habit of unclutching from suffering without doing the regular practice, then the layers and layers of the suffering increases, and suddenly one day you are completely disconnected and you are not able to relate with the master at all. It has to be a regular practice. If you don't do that as a regular practice, the layers of suffering will keep on building up on you and it will collapse you. One fine day, you will see that you're completely disconnected and unable to relate with the master. Even the strong remembrance does not put you into that joy and ecstasy, does not put you into enlightenment, does not put you into that feeling connection. And then you say, I think I lost my spiritual strength and life. And then finally, you succumb. Now, that is what Bhagavan calls Uddharet Atmanatmanam, Atmanam Avasadhayet. Your own self should be a friend. If not, your own self will be your enemy. Atmaiva Atmanaha Bandho, Atmaiva Ripu Atmanaha. If you do not raise yourself by yourself, you will become your worst enemy. If you raise yourself by yourself, you will be your best friend. So, continuously practice the presence of God and the ability to unclutch from sufferings, from the things which pull you down. It is unfortunate, many a time you start enjoying sufferings. This is the harsh truth of life. Yes, you start enjoying sufferings. You like them because that gives you a kind of feeling that you can always put the blame on somebody else. Why do people like suffering? Just to say their inability. But when suffering becomes a pattern, please internalize this truth. You will see how often you are in this zone, not wanting to take responsibility for yourself, continuing to collect more and more sufferings, and getting into the space of blaming, a space of victimhood. Why people like suffering is just to say they are unable, inability. But when suffering becomes a pattern, unfortunately, you stop living life. Life is destroyed. Bhagavan says, I have seen many a time people don't unclutch from suffering just to blame everybody else in their life. See, I'm suffering because of this fellow, this fellow, this fellow, that fellow. By the time you finish pointing the fingers, the suffering has already become a pattern in you. Even though there is no valid reason for you to be suffering, it has become a strong pattern in you. And when suffering becomes a pattern, your life is destroyed. Continuously practice the ability to unclutch from sufferings. Let your practice from unclutching the sufferings not stop. Let it not get disturbed. Let it not be broken. Let it not pull you down. The broken spiritual practice means that you are allowing your patterns to pull you down. And that is all it is. Meditate on this one verse continuously for the next 24 hours. Meditate on this one concept. Gaudapada, a great master who was Adi Shankara's Paramaguru, maybe who was a contemporary of the great Saint Tirupnana Sambandar. In his Karika, he beautifully describes the concept. Just as an ocean can be emptied with the help of the tip of the blade, which can hold just a drop, so also can the control of the mind be brought about by the absence of depression. I repeat, using a tip of a blade, you can actually empty a huge body of water, including the ocean. Similarly, you can control the mind by absence of depression, not allowing your mind to get into depression and suffering. Gaudapada very beautifully says, by the practice, anything is possible. You can even empty the ocean with the kusha grass, which is a small grass with a continuous effort for years. Same way, even if that can be possible, why not conquering the mind by the absence of depression? It is possible. Hear from Bhagavan.
Successfully, hundreds of participants have completed Nirahara Samyama level 2, 4th batch today. Understand? This instruction is only for Ashramites and the Samyama participants. All the Ashramites and the Samyama participants, please understand. Eat when you feel like. Do not have a law not to eat or to have a regular diet pattern. No. Do not have both. Don't have the habit that I eat in time, regularly, 2 meals or 3 meals a day. No. Same way, don't have a law. I will not eat at all. The real Samyama happens when you don't even have the vow of Samyama and feel like I'm not eating at all and move with the flow. I tell you, I don't feel like eating at all. Only when I see the body becomes too hot and needs something, I pour some juice. So you don't even need to restrict yourself only to juice. You can even eat solid food whenever you feel like. But make sure neither the visualization of the food or the smell of the food or your mind interferes in the samyama and asks you to eat. Only like a casually, all right, today some temple prasad must come. Come on, let me put it in the mouth. Try to learn to live like a god. Gods do not have vow not to eat. They just do not feel like. So live like a gods on the planet Earth. I think now, especially these samyama participants have been really trained. So now, from today, all the ashramites who are doing Nirahara Samyama and Samyama, all the Samyama participants, all of you will end the vow. You will not have this vow anymore. Feel like? Have it. Don't feel like? Leave it. So the Samyama out of freedom, Samyama out of joy, not out of vow. I tell you, then body just jumps into a new kind of wellness. It jumps into a new kind of feeling well. So today onwards, you will do something called unique free Samyama. The Samyama without the vow. So from today, you will have Samyama without vow. And today I have something unique from our Siddha products release. Officially, Dhyanapidam's Pedakai Pudi and Pedakai tablets. It's a Sarvaroga Nivarani. I'm very happy to release this too. This is the only thing which I take regularly. I think I don't need to introduce about Pedakai Pudi anymore. All of you know the power of it. It increases the oxygen flow in the blood 300%. And we call it in Sanskrit Haritaki. And the exact meaning of the word Haritaki means the drop of the nectar fell from Indra's cup, and that drop is Haritaki. I can say it's 100% true. It is nectar. It is nectar. I tell you guys, this is the most powerful spiritual cleanser. I want to give the title, not just body cleanser. Because when the oxygen level in the body increases 300%, it directly works on your non-mechanical parts of the brain. When the non-mechanical parts of the brain gets awakened, then all the spiritual truths are understood. You'll be able to grasp all the spiritual truths and live. So,
continue on deeper understandings about unclutching in the very practice of unclutching in the successive sessions. I will now have to conclude this session with a Purna mantra. Please sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line, hands together. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nityananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu Om Nityanandam. Thank you. Dharma. Please continue to be logged in. Our Acharya will be shortly starting. Nityanandam, everyone? Yes. Can you turn on your cameras? Let us begin with the Sadguru Vandanam. Sit with your head and spine in a straight line, your hands in the Anjali Mudra. Let us chant the Sadguru Vandanam. Om Nityanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam Gaganasatrusham Tatvamasyāti Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatītam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Yes. So we will be learning about Nityanandam Nitya Guru Prasadini Nityanandam. We will be learning about Ashtavakra Gita. So what Ashtavakra?
Ashtavakra.
Yes, Ashtavakra Gita. Okay. So today we will be learning more about Ashtavakra Gita. What is Ashtavakra Gita and how it was delivered to humanity by whom, and how Swamiji has thrown more light on Ashtavakra Gita and presented it to the humanity in a new light, and how it makes the path towards enlightenment much more easier. So we're going to learn more about all these in this segment. Okay, so Swamiji delivered a series of talks, a series of discourses on the Ashtavakra Gita. So this is directly the enlightenment discourses given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, BHAGAVAN NITHYANANDA PARAMASHIVAM, on the 10th, 11th and 12th of November 2005 in Bangalore, India. So way back in 2005, Swamiji delivered these truths on the Ashtavakra Gita. So it is all about getting enlightened. It is your journey towards enlightenment. And enlightenment is possible, are the words of the Master. Now let us look at the story, how it all started. The whole story of Ashtavakra is beautiful. The story starts when Ashtavakra's mother was carrying him in her womb. Ashtavakra's father used to recite Vedic mantras, the chants from the Vedic scriptures. When the father was chanting, the son used to listen to all the mantras. Suddenly one day the son started questioning the father from inside the womb. What are you chanting? What you are chanting are pure words. It has no juice. Understand? The child in the womb, in the mother's womb, is talking to the father. Okay? If the child is connecting with the father when it was in the womb itself, understand it is an enlightened, a conscious being. So he starts questioning the father from inside the womb. What you are chanting are pure words. It has no juice. It has no experience. You are just an intellectual pandit, a learned person. Where is the truth? The father was deeply hurt. He cursed the son. He said, what? Even before taking birth, you dare to question me? Who knows what else you will do after taking birth? The father's curse resulted in Ashtavakra taking birth with 8 problems or deformities in his body. At 8 spots, his body was crooked or curved. Ashtavakra was conscious even before birth. So next is another beautiful story. Ashtavakra went to the palace of Janaka, a great king. The moment Ashtavakra entered Janaka's palace, everyone in the palace started laughing because Ashtavakra looked ugly with the 8 curves in his body. All the ministers and the people, including Janaka, started laughing. But Ashtavakra did not get hurt. If we allow ourselves to become hurt, we are defeated. At any point, if we are hurt, we are defeated. If we become angry, we are defeated. Ashtavakra was not hurt. He was not disturbed in any way. He was just completely relaxed. He said to Janaka, "Oh Janaka, I thought you were a great rishi. I thought you were a great yogi, accomplished spiritual person. But you are neither a yogi nor do you have any yogis around you. You have only cobblers in your court. You have only shoemakers in your court." Ashtavakra boldly says, "You have only shoemakers in your court." You need to understand the statement. It is a beautiful statement. Straight away, a 12-year-old boy with physical challenges is talking in a very bold manner to the king of the country. And in those days, country means the whole country was ruled by a particular king. It was not divided. It was not divided like how it is today. So the kingdom was really huge, and the king happened to be very, very, very powerful and a learned king. He was also an enlightened king. So a 12-year-old boy, Ashtavakra, has entered the court and the whole court was laughing. If we were in Ashtavakra's place, we would have immediately become angry. Ashtavakra was a spontaneous person with great respect for himself. Please understand, he had great respect for himself. Unless we allow or give our silent permission, nobody can disrespect us or hurt us. Ashtavakra was such an integrated being, such a beautiful being. He did not allow others to hurt him or depress him. Straight away, he spoke with spontaneity. "You have only shoemakers." Janaka was shocked. Ashtavakra explains, "These people are seeing only my skin, not my being. Cobblers see only the skin, not the reality. When the cobbler sees an animal, he will think only about the skin, not the being. When a tailor sees you, he will see only your dress. He will measure your being only based on the dress you are wearing. When a jeweler sees you, he will first see only the jewelry you are wearing. He will judge you based on the jewelry that you are wearing. He weighs you.
People look at things only from their angles. They have their own ideas, they have their own imagination. So Janaka was a king and an intelligent being. He understood the meaning of the words spoken by Ashtavakra. He immediately came down from the throne, touched the feet of Ashtavakra and said, "Please forgive me. I understand what you say." Not only did he ask Ashtavakra to forgive him, but he also put forward one more statement. "Master, O Lord," he called Ashtavakra. He called Ashtavakra as master. Janaka continued, "O Lord, just from your very words, I understood that whatever you spoke was from your own direct experience." Ashtavakra was not hurt because he was so clear about his being and he was clearly expressing the reality. Janaka then said, "Just by a few words, I can understand that you are an enlightened being. Your words are from your very own being. Please teach me. Give me the wisdom that you have." Because Janaka asked for the truth, whatever Ashtavakra taught became a big help to him. It helped King Janaka to transform his life, to awaken his being, to achieve enlightenment. Unless you ask for this help, it cannot be given. By you being here, I assume you are requesting this help. So I'm assuming you need the help, you need the wisdom, and you need the knowledge of Ashtavakra. So now Janaka inquires into the truth. Janaka asks, how can knowledge be acquired, and how can liberation be attained? And how is renunciation possible? Tell me this, O Lord. It is a beautiful question. Janaka's very being is a seeker. He might have laughed at Ashtavakra by mistake, but his very being is a seeker. We need to understand the word liberation. Liberation means not being disturbed, polluted, or touched by the inner and outer world goals. If we are not touched, polluted, or corrupted by the outer world or inner world goals, we are liberated. The moment we understand the purposelessness of the whole existence, we are liberated. Whatever we think is purpose binds our lives. Bondage is thinking that there is a purpose in our lives. A goal is not the result of life. Life itself is the goal of life. So two things. First, if we sell our life for some goal, we may not achieve anything at all and feel frustrated. Second, we may achieve the goal and still feel depressed. Achieving what you want is different from satisfying what you want. Jivan Mukta means a person who can sit with himself, one who doesn't need anything from the outer world to entertain him, excite him, and make him peaceful or happy. The moment you understand that life has no purpose, that moment you will be liberated. That moment you will understand the meaning of life living in this moment. We're all like the waves. It is all just a few minutes of drama. The next moment we are going to disappear into the same ocean. A person who understands that life has no purpose will start working 10 times more intensely than others. Do not think you will become lazy when you realize that life is without purpose. A liberated person will be energetic. A liberated person by his own understanding will start actually working. If we understand that we are full and express our fullness, we will also become compassionate. We will attract more and more joyful things and experiences in our life. If we believe strongly that we are not enough unto ourselves and start running based on fear and greed, we will only create and attract incidents and people of the same nature. By our very nature, we will reproduce what we believe. Now, Ashtavakra starts a beautiful answer. He's continuing. If you aspire for liberation, my child, shun the objects of the senses as poison and seek forgiveness, sincerity, kindness, contentment, and truth as nectar. You are neither earth, nor water, nor fire, nor air, nor ether. In order to attain liberation, realize yourself as the knower of all these and consciousness itself. Life is not a chain. Every moment is independent. Be very clear. Your life is not an interconnected chain, as you think it is. Every moment is individual. Every moment is a separate, independent moment. The sutra to freedom is to detach from the body and rest in intelligence. So understand, even our body and mind are not necessary to live. When we understand that we are beyond our body becomes graceful. So how many of you are able to grasp the truth that we are beyond our body? We are not just limited to this body. You are beyond this body. You are consciousness. And consciousness needs a body to work towards enlightenment. But you are not the body itself. So when we understand that we are beyond our body becomes graceful. When we understand that we are beyond our mind becomes intelligent. We start radiating grace and intelligence when we understand that we are beyond our body and mind. First, you are not the body and mind. Understand, you are not the body and mind. Second, if you detach from the body and rest in intelligence, you will at once be happy, peaceful, and free from bondage. By its very nature, the body heals itself. The body has its own intelligence. And ego is not necessary. The concept that you have about you, ego means the concept that you have about you, and the personality that you are carrying are not necessary for you to live inside the body and mind. As long as you are afraid, you can be exploited by the ego. We all have two identities, the identity that we project to the outer world and the identity that we believe to be us in the inner world. The identity which you believe to be you inside your mind is called mamakar in Sanskrit. It will always be much smaller than what you really are. Ahankar will be based on a superiority complex. Mamakar will be based on an inferiority complex. Ahankar will be based on fear. Mamakar will be based on greed. The conflict between Ahankar and Mamakar is called tension. Both identities are pure myths. Both are lies. You are something beyond all these identities. So the essence of the whole segment is you are something beyond all these identities. You are beyond your body. You are beyond your mind. You are not just your body or mind. Understand? Your own consciousness. Okay. So we will continue to learn more about the Ashtavakra Gita. So you can share your understanding. Whatever you have understood from this segment, you can share. Please go ahead and share your understanding in the chat. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, we are beyond all the identities. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Enlightenment is guaranteed. That is what we are going to be learning. How? Okay, Ma Guru Prasadini. Thank you for sharing, Ma. Yes. So the first thing that we need to understand is that enlightenment is possible. Since we all have a living master in our lives, an incarnation who is in the form of our Guru, we have him in our lives, and he ensures that each and every being is taken towards enlightenment, and it depends on our own intensity. In this spiritual journey, it also depends how deeply and intensely your seeking is. That will result in enlightenment. So once you come to the master, you can just follow his teachings and you can apply his teachings in your daily life. Start applying all that you learn in the session here. Start applying it in your personal lives, and then you will see the changes that is happening, and he will walk you through this journey in a very smooth manner. The first thing that we need to understand is that enlightenment is possible. Fact versus truth. Enlightenment exists. Enlightenment does not exist. Which is the fact and which is the truth? We will be finding out. The concept that there is no enlightenment is a technique to make us enlightened. Enlightenment is not the goal. It is the very path itself. Desire without object is enlightenment. Just listen and you will express. So understand, enlightenment is not the goal. It is the very path itself. Enlightened way of living. Once you come to the master and he initiates you, you start leading the kind of life that takes you towards enlightenment. So the very path itself is enlightenment. You're walking on the path of enlightenment. And desire without object is enlightenment. And start listening. When you listen, you will start expressing. The fearful mind escapes through hypothetical questions. So understand, you are all beyond societal conditionings. And saying no is the way of the ego. How the ego expresses in you is by saying no. You are not visible to the eyes. As long as you are afraid, you can be exploited by your very own ego. As long as you are afraid, you can be exploited by the ego. If worshipping makes you feel deeply connected, then it is all right. If worshipping does not make you feel connected, or if it is not acting as an inspiration to follow the path, all the teachings, be very clear. Worshipping is not going to help. So start becoming aware of the words that you are using inside you, the inner chatter that is happening constantly within you. Start becoming aware of your mind, how it is leading you. The words that you repeat again and again in your life will become a reality in your life. So, what is the creator of the pain shaft? Why do we suffer from pain? The main reason for suffering from pain, one of the reasons is we carry guilt of the past. All of us carry guilt within from that we have taken from our past. All your habits, your activities, your thoughts are disconnected, unclutched individual incidents. However, by carrying guilt, pain, suffering, fear, or worry about the habit, you make a shaft of thoughts that would otherwise not be there. Each and every statement or thought that is happening in your mind is completely unclutched. They are independent experiences. You cannot judge, connect, or categorize them. All your negativity has only one power, the faith that you place in it. You do not need to work for unclutching. Just do not clutch and do not create a shaft. Because of your memory of pain or pleasure, you think you have a constant mind and a continuous thought flow. You do not have to practice renunciation. Your very nature is renunciation. So are you needed to run your life? The question is, are we really needed to run our lives? So all that we do is we think that unless we carry our identity, we cannot protect ourselves. But that identity that we carry does not really exist. Understand? The identity that we carry does not really exist. We have an automatic intelligence which can run our lives, which can take care of our day-to-day life. Not only can it run our lives, it can maintain, it can extend or expand our lives. Your constant psychological planning, psychological worrying, fears, greed, whatever you think of as you is not needed to run your life. Your very automatic intelligence is more than enough. Be very clear that you cannot run your life based on fear and greed. If you are driven by fear and greed, you will carry a constant irritation within you. So what is the remedy? What is the, how do we get a break from all of this? How to avoid driven by fear and greed? How to stop carrying that constant irritation in us? Is there a way? Yes. There is a way, and it's a very simple technique, which is to surrender to your higher intelligence. When you surrender and let go of the identities that you carry, that is the inner image, the outer image, the ahankar and mamakar, in Sanskrit it is called ahankar and mamakar, then you will feel a tremendous freedom. So right now we're all holding on to our identities and we go through the pain, the suffering, and the suppression and whatnot, isn't it? All the negative emotions like anger, frustration, irritation that we carry, it is only because of our identities that we are clinging on to. When we drop all these identities, we become free, we become independent. So if you feel I'm getting tortured at this moment, try to understand it is the thought that is torturing you, that's all. Do not believe it will come back. By believing it will come back, the belief itself will bring it back. So whatever you believe, you make it happen. You manifest your beliefs. Understand? All of us manifest our belief. We do not manifest what we need, but we only manifest what we believe. So believing whatever the statements that you are making, when you carry strong beliefs, it could be anything. It could be anything. For example, here we're looking at an example. I'm getting tortured at this moment is an example. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling angry. It could be anything. So whatever you feel, sorry for the technical glitch. If you feel I am getting tortured at this moment, try to understand it is the thought. Please understand it is a thought that is torturing you. That's all. So whatever situation you are in, understand it is only your thoughts that are giving you pain and suffering. So do not believe it will come back. Whatever you believe, you make it happen. The belief itself will bring it back. So be very clear. What you think as you or self is nothing but the discarded thoughts, including the randomly picked, unconnected, illogical, and unclutched thoughts. You pick from these, create a shaft, and think you are those thoughts, and try to develop a self which does not exist. Let me repeat. So whatever you think as you or yourself is nothing but the discarded thoughts, including the randomly picked, unconnected, illogical, and unclutched thoughts. So you pick up from these and create a shaft and think you are those thoughts, and try to develop a self which does not exist. So understand, you are not your thoughts, you are not your patterns, you are not your body, you are not your mind, you are beyond all that. Now simply let go. When you let go, you will fly, you will simply fly. Understand this moment that you are unattached. So when you make this understanding much more deeper, when you believe in this, that you are unattached, and you start leading your life in an unattached way, and then you see a new being, it is a rebirth. For most of us, it's a great relief from all the unwanted thoughts, from all the unwanted situations that we manifest in our lives only due to our thoughts, the way we think. So just let go, and you will fly. You will simply fly. So Ashtavakra Gita is all about enlightenment. If you want enlightenment, you can have it. Enlightenment is sure, it is guaranteed, because you have the living master in your life who can give you the enlightenment, who can make you an enlightened being. Let us look at the Shastra Pramana, which are the eternal unchangeable truths revealed in the source scriptures. Eko dashtasi sarvasya mukta prayosi sarvada ayameva hi te bandho dashtaram pashya sitaram. Okay, the translation. You are the one, seer of all, and really ever free. Verily, this alone is your bondage that you see, the seer as other than such. The next Shastra Pramana. Aham kartetyaham mana maha krishna hidam shitaha naham karteti vishwasamrutam pitva sukham bhava. You who have been bitten by the great black serpent of egoism, I am the doer. Drink the nectar of the faith. I am not the doer, and be happy. The next Shastra Pramana. Eko vishuddha bodhoham iti nishchaya vannina prajvalya jnana gahanam vitashoka sukhi bhava. Burn down the wilderness of ignorance with the fire of the knowledge. I am the one and pure intelligence, and be free from grief and be happy. Now, let us enter into the sutra and see how Ashtavakra says that we can simply have it. He also shows us how to have it. So virtue and vice, pleasure and pain are of the mind, not of you. O all-pervading one, you are neither doer nor enjoyer. Verily, you are ever free. By your very nature, you renounce every moment. We are completely unclutched. We are completely unclutched. Every moment by our nature, we renounce our thoughts. Unless we renounce one thought, we cannot have the next thought. By our very nature, we are constantly renouncing our thoughts. Now, thoughts are like bubbles in a fish tank. There is no linear connection between one thought and another thought within us. The only relationship between thoughts is that they come from the same source. When you connect your thoughts in a selective linear manner, you create an idea that your whole life is pain, or your whole life is joy or pleasure. In doing so, you are creating something inside you that does not exist, which is the mind. So understand, when you connect your thoughts, that is the original sin. That is the original sin, when you connect your thoughts. So let's do a simple experiment for a few minutes. It's a very simple exercise. Please take out your notebooks. You can start writing. See, only when we write, when we start writing, we even know what is happening inside us. Until and unless we don't write, we will not even know what is happening inside. That is why it is very important to do these exercises. These exercises are an eye-opener. It helps you to internalize the truths as well as intra-analyze the truths. So please take out your notebooks and start writing. Now write down whatever is going on in your mind. Do not edit, do not suppress any thoughts. It is an experiment only for you. Start writing down everything. You may think, oh, nothing is coming to my mind. Write down the statement also, because it is one more thought. So whatever is going on inside you, look in and see what are the thoughts that are happening inside you. We will have many thoughts, and they're all random thoughts. So just start writing whatever comes up in your mind. It could be any thought. It could be multiple thoughts. So just start writing. So let's take a few minutes and start and write. So look in. Please do not get distracted. Look in. Close your eyes and look in and see what are the thoughts that are happening, and start penning it down. Is happening inside you. Okay, so by your own nature, you are unconnected, independent, and your thoughts are illogical thoughts. Many things are happening within you. For the sake of your convenience, you pick up a few thoughts randomly, clutch them, create a shaft, and start believing that the shaft is you. You also believe that it is an accurate representation of your past and it is your identity. So understand, the way you think, the thought currents that you all of us carry is the culprit. So whether it is a pain shaft or joy shaft, it both leads to suffering. So how are we thinking? What is the way that we think? Are we thinking in the right way? Now, let me repeat. Many things are happening within you. For the sake of your convenience, you pick up a few thoughts randomly. You clutch them, you create a shaft and start believing that the shaft is you. So now do you understand how is the process of your thinking? And you not only create a shaft, you also believe it is an accurate representation of your past and that it is your identity. So choicelessness is bliss. If you choose it, bliss will not happen because you have made a choice and thereby you have eliminated it as a possibility. But when you are choiceless, when you are completely relaxed, bliss happens naturally. When you are concerned about bliss, your very concern will ensure that you will not experience it. So do not try to renounce your depression because by your very nature, it will be flowing, it will be going away. By your very nature, just as joy disappears from your mind, depression also disappears from your mind. The moment you try to eliminate the depression, you will extend it and give it more life. Let us watch a short video where Swamiji is talking about his experience.
Of course, after the idea 4 or 5 times. There's a nice story. You see, I was studying under a monk, under a Swami named Ramananda Saraswati. The greatness of the Swami is 6 months he will go house to house of his devotees and beg. Whatever money he gets, he will come back, stay in Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh is a place called Unclutching. Stay in that place and he will take Gita class for 6 months. Whoever comes, he will give free food and stay for them. 6 months he will go around house to house of devotees and beg. Whatever money he gets, he will bring. With that money, he will give free food for whoever comes to learn Gita. He's a great scholar. People from all over the world used to come to him to study Vedanta and Gita. I think he's more than 90 years old. And one more thing important thing, he's still alive. He's still alive, he's teaching. He's still teaching. I had the great fortune to sit at his feet to study. He's not only a scholar in Hindi, he's a scholar in English also. Nice, great Mahatma. It's a great Mahatma. I derived a big inspiration from him to share the knowledge. The amount of knowledge which you used to have, not only will offer free classes, he'll give free food and shelter both. 6 months he'll go around house to house to devotees, beg and bring the money and manage. Such a highly dedicated soul, still alive and still conducting the programs. Every year, 6 months, if you go to Onkar Madhya Pradesh, you can stay under him and study. Some 200 to 300 people will come. Every day he'll give free food for everybody and give them the knowledge. Amazing person. I heard about him and went there to study. I was studying around a month, maybe a month or two, not more than 2 months. Between 1 month to 2 months, because I don't have a calendar, I don't know how many days exactly. I can say average. I was studying. Suddenly, at one point, of course I was intensely meditating also, I felt a deep depression. Means the too strong. See, the more strong you hold on to an ideology or to a person, the more deeper will be your depression. If you hold on, hang on to a person, your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or whatever, son or brother or father, you have a depression and start blaming that person. It's the reason for depression. Same way, if you hang on or strongly hold your ego or identity or ideology, again, you'll face a separate depression. When you face depression due to ideology or identity or ego, you'll start blaming the whole world. You'll start blaming the whole world. You lose confidence on the whole world. You lose trust on the whole world. Holding on to strong identity or strong ideology is the worst help anybody can have. So I was having my own help. Means a strong identity created towards enlightenment. And suddenly the deep depression, practically whatever should be done to achieve enlightenment, I have done. But enlightenment has not happened. So the deep depression came in such a way, like a wave,
completely lost trust and confidence on the whole ideology of enlightenment, not only all the masters who inspired me. Ramakrishna, Ramanashi are my great inspiration,
especially Ramakrishna. Completely lost the respect for Ramakrishna. That's what I was saying the other day. When you fall in depression, you will not have intelligence to associate the reason for depression with your identity. You will not have intelligence to think your identity is cause for your depression. You will start suspecting everybody and blaming everybody. You will start blaming everybody. Even a simple reason is enough for you to blame the person. That is the reason for your depression. That is the big problem with the strong ego and identity fellows. That's why better not to build the identity or ego. In that way, even if you always think that if I don't have strong identity, others will cheat me. If others cheat you, they will cheat you at the most only few hours. If you build a strong identity, your identity will cheat you for whole life. Because it will be there around you when you are in waking state, when you are in dream state, when you are in deep sleep state. All three states you will be in hell 24 hours. Better to be cheated by others than to be cheated by your own identity. That's the worst thief. I tell you, the disease grows inside you and kills you. Medicine grows outside and heals you. Just because it is outside, don't think it's something which will disturb you. Your identity also like that grows inside and destroys you. But you always suspect only others, you will not suspect you. I was also doing the same thing. I started suspecting Ramakrishna, Ramanashi, and not only that, any of God's they are not alive. Others have fought with them, just like you guys are fighting with me. Some are fighting with me, I have fought with them. Unfortunately, they are not alive. They were not alive at the time. But my depression was such, I started thinking what? I left my house and everything, thinking that I'll have enlightenment, these fellows will do something for me. And especially when I left my house, the last courage to take the jump came to me by the darshan of Ramakrishna and Shadari. Both of them gave me darshan. Just 3 days before I left the house, actually I was buying, but I did not have the courage to take the jump. Means drop and run. That never happened in me. That did not happen in me. One early morning, actually one whole day I read Ramakrishna's Gospel of Ramakrishna. After that, when reading the book, I just put the book and slept. That night, my whole mind was Ramakrishna. Early morning, suddenly I had the vision. It's not even a dream, actually, it was a vivid vision. Ramakrishna and Shadari appeared. And Shadari put a hand on my head and initiated, means gave energy darshan. And I felt such a tremendous high energy. Ramakrishna was smiling at me. And such a high energy, I decided I'll leave the house and I took the quantum jump. So that gave me the courage to take the jump. Now when the depression came, the whole anger turned towards Ramakrishna only. And I started feeling like somebody was being cheated. And I started thinking, the cream of the life is youth. And my youth I wasted on this nonsense ideology of enlightenment. Thinking something happened to my head. And I neither studied to have some job, nor made some money through business. Nothing is there. So, and I fought with the whole family also. Means the father did not fight because they did not stop me. But all the other relatives I fought with them nicely, fired them and left the house. So I started thinking, what will happen now? I'm neither getting enlightened, nor living the normal life. It's like a nowhere. Then the deep depression became anger towards the Ramakrishna. And I was using a mantra, meditating. I used to have a mantra to meditate. Constantly I repeat a mantra and I used to have a Japamala. The Japamala got completely polished just because I did Japa. Just my counting. The whole mala was completely polished. Per day, 10,000 times I used to count. 108 beat one hand, 108 beat another hand. If I finish one mala, I'll move one beat here. So by the time this whole mala is not happened, 10,000. So, and not only that, all sorts of tapas I used to do. So when the deep depression came, I used to have the Ramakrishna's photo. I just picked up that photo, which I used to worship like anything. Just threw the photo with such anger. It was glass framed. It went to meet the wall, in the wall means the rock, and got broken completely. I did not even care to go near that rock. And just walked the river. And the Japamala which I was having, I thought, enough all the spiritual practice and nonsense. And took the Japamala. Mentally decided, not only the Japamala, I am throwing this mantra also. Let it get lost. Let me be free from all these nonsense of tension and practice and the spiritual practice and enlightenment and all this pressure. Took the mala and threw into the Nirvana, the river. Visually, mentally I thought so strongly, I am throwing this mantra also, let it be lost. I promise, I don't know how you will believe. I forgot the mantra from that day. I was never able to remember that mantra again, still now. Still now I am not able to remember that mantra. That mantra was lost. I tried to retrieve the file many times, only one syllable I could get. Never the complete thing came back. It was lost once for all. Anyhow, after that also, alright, I broke the photo about the life, the tremendous insecurity, feeling and fear. And apart from that, I was not able to face the depression. Not only the depression, I was not able to face the depression. Depression about the depression.
I started walking inside the river, decided to die. Fraction of second decision. Fraction of second decision. Because you never have the courage to die if you think twice. If you think you'll never have the courage to die. If any of you try for committing suicide, you know. You'll never have the courage to die if you think twice. Even in that you are useless. I'm also useless. Even in that I'm not successful. Anyhow, I just started walking. Till the water came up to the hip level, there was no fear. When the water came up to the hip level, then the regular fear started. Shall we go back? Shall we go back? The mind started. But the other side strongly, no, it's after all 5 minutes process, let's forget it. I just closed eyes tightly and started walking full speed. Full speed, started walking. Inside the river. Walking. Mind is thinking, what is still, what is not covering me? That is a big river. It's not a small river. Big river. Again, friends, it has happened. The truth, Satya, it has happened. However you understand and understand. Full speed I was walking. Suddenly, one rock hit my leg and I fell. I saw I was already on the other shore. I do not know whether I walked on the rock and crashed or it was a miracle that Nirvana did not want to take my body. When I got up and looked back, I simply felt, literally I felt that Nirvana was laughing. Why you know? Traditionally, Nirvana river is believed as a virgin. A sannyasi is not supposed to cross the river. He can only do parikrama, means he can go around the river. I took 9 months and did complete parikrama of the river. 1,800 kilometers. 9.5 months. I did complete parikrama of the river from Amarkanta to Amarkanta. So, I just saw. And from the young age, I never learned swimming because sannyasi is not supposed to cross the river. So I used to be very strong with this ideology. When I fell, when I just got up, I just felt that river is laughing at me. First thing I thought came to my mind was the strong idea which I was holding actually. When I was 4 or 5, some of my uncle, father's sister's village, we used to go there for vacation. Very young age. They were trying to teach me swimming. They put the kids in the well and kids us to start swimming. When they started teaching me, I said, no, I'm a Swami, I should not learn swimming. From that time, I was so strong about that ideology. When I fell and got up, the river was laughing at me. First thing came in my mind was that the ideology I was having was lost. That was the thing came to my mind. Suddenly, in that moment itself, the desire to die has disappeared. And there was no depression. It was not blissful, but no depression. Just a deep peace, like as if catharsis happened. You know, we went to the same Mukarisha. I showed that these guys were a class. I do not know how it happened, but I did not drown, that's all, you know. Maybe the Nirvana didn't want to take my body, or whatever it is. The depression disappeared, and the deep peace. Now, how to come back to this side? That's the problem. The walking and with all the time, how to come back? So walk in the banks of the river till you find the bridge, and I crossed through the bridge and came back to the place where I was staying. To the place where I was staying, all right. The depression disappeared. There was a deep peace inside, but not bliss. How the bliss happened?
So that was a beautiful experience that Swamiji experienced in his own life, and how it gave him, how the cosmos intervened and helped him to experience the deep peace within him. How he was able to walk out of depression, and how the cosmos really worked this miracle through him. Now let us look at the gap between thoughts, the peace and the bliss. By our very nature, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. As with the bubbles, we experience a neutral space in between two thoughts. As the gap or the neutral space between the two thoughts is too small, we think all the thoughts are connected and that is in the form of a shaft, but it is not. The peace that exists in us in between two thoughts is bliss. The gap between the thoughts, the neutral space, is peace. This is bliss. When the seer is affected by the seen, the bondage starts. Please understand, when the seer is affected by the seen, the scenes that are appearing in front of us, the problem in the form of bondage starts. Your very being is pure. The moment you start associating yourself and one other than the seer, the problem starts. This is the only bondage which you have. There is no other bondage. For any growth, freedom is the basic condition. And here, all techniques are created and given to you to make you understand that techniques cannot help. Instead, you need to go straight to the understanding. If you are already tired of techniques, now is the time to drop your mind and look into yourself. Just understand this one truth, that by your very nature, you are unclutched. When you understand that by your very nature, you are unclutched, a tremendous quantum transformation happens. And transformation happens in a quantum manner, not in a step-by-step fashion. With just one leap, you can take a quantum jump and experience the truth, the awakening in yourself. All the physical and mental problems can be addressed by the single idea that you are unclutched. The moment you understand that by your very nature you are unclutched, that very moment your depression will simply disappear. The very idea of your depression is created by you by constantly linking all your moods. Understand these two truths. First, our mind creates our body, and the second, our body is continuously replacing itself. If we understand that we are unclutched, if we realize the truth that we are unclutched, unconnected, independent, illogical thoughts, then we will stop. We will stop carrying the same mind and the same old identity. We will also stop reproducing the same disease in the body. We will stop not just reproducing the same pain, we will also stop reproducing the depression, the difficulties and diseases in the new body. If you are unclutched, you will allow your body to heal from the disease which you have already have, and you will create a new body. Unclutching dramatically improves your health and brings a healing effect in you. Almost all the mental problems related to desires, guilt, fear, addiction, depression, etc. can be addressed with a single truth that you are unclutched. So all we need to do is just to unclutch and get rid of the guilt and vengeance. When you cannot forgive yourself, it is called guilt. When you cannot forgive others, it is called vengeance. When you unclutch, both guilt and vengeance will disappear. Not only will you forgive, but you will also forget because there is no connection between your behavior. So how do we break free from our past and take the quantum jump? So please be very clear, you will never be able to achieve any significant transformation or change in your personality by remembering your past. When we unclutch, the first thing that will happen to us will be the inner healing effect, a deep silence and peace in us. So that will start naturally radiating in our relationships. And because all these are going beautifully, we will be creative and productive. So here Swamiji is addressing the whole humanity as, O sons of immortality, you are the outcome of the intense, enlightened experience. Again and again, the rishis declare this one truth. You are much more than the two identities which you carry. But the rishis are saying that you are much more than your identity. They are saying that you are God. Shunvantu Vishwe Amritasya Putraha Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam. Only a man who has experienced this truth, who has the courage to tell this truth to others, who trusts his disciples with the thought that even if I give him this courage and confidence, he will respect me, he will not respect me. Only when you have that much courage, this truth can be reproduced. Fear is because of the possibility of not achieving your goal. Fear is not connected to your failure. Fear is connected to your fear of failure. If you are haunted by greed or fear, it is just because of your clutching and unconnected. If you understand this one truth that constantly you renounce, you replace your own thoughts. Just a glass of water is enough to get rid of your fear of death. Because the moment you decide to have a glass of water, the thought of fear will already have disappeared. If the thought of death was so strong, it would still be there. Instead, it can be easily replaced by just a single cup of tea. A cup of tea is more than enough. So being liberated. Now, let us look at a small example of how the bird that is holding on to the hunter's trap, it is afraid to let go without realizing that it can just fly and be liberated. Only if it would let go. So we are also like the bird, holding on to our mind and ego, which are nothing but non-existent shafts. We cling to things that do not even exist. We are bound by the mind itself is a myth. The bird which is trying to hold on thinks that if he lets go, he may fall and die. If we let go, we will only fly. We will never fall and die. You are also clutching on to the mind and the ego and waiting for Yama, the Lord of Death. If you just let go, you can also be simply free and start flying. If you imbibe and understand these truths, enlightenment experience can become yours. You can simply have it. You can liberate yourself. So may you all radiate the eternal bliss Nityananda. These are the ultimate the blessings from the Master that leads each one of us towards enlightenment. So I hope all of you have followed what was being shared here. If you have any doubts, any clarifications, you can post here in the chat. Yes, hope you're all able to follow whatever is being shared here. If you have any doubts or clarifications, you can always post here in the chat and we will be glad to help you. Okay, so if you don't have any doubts, we can conclude. Okay, Guru Prasadini, thank you. Okay, so then we can conclude this segment with the Purna Mantra. Let us chant the Purna Mantra by offering our gratitude to the Master who is here walking each one of us through this journey towards the path of enlightenment and making the path itself as an enlightened path. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavad Nityananda Paramashivham Padukarpanamastu Om Nityanandam. Thank you all. Let's wait for the next Acharya, Nityanandam.
Nithyanandam, everyone. Am I audible? Can you all hear me? Can I have a thumbs up? Yes. Let's start the sessions with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramashuvam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyādilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatītam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Now let's start our sessions with power manifestation. We are learning unclutching. Today we are learning one of the primary teachings of Swamiji. Before we learn further, and let's do one round of power manifestation. Power manifestation, first we'll start with third eye power manifestation. So quickly post your powerful cognitions from Living Enlightenment book. Post your, yes, living energy being, every single tree, every single stalk of a plant responds to your love and hate, your every thought. Wonderful. Wonderful. So now please sit straight with your head and back straight line. Any thoughts, just let it come, let it go. You bring your attention back to your third eye. Visualize Swamiji's form in your third eye and start chanting the Mahavakya. Start chanting the Mahavakya and experience the space of oneness. With the space of oneness, manifest the power of third eye. So continuously chant the Mahavakya, bringing your attention back to your third eye again and again.
And you all your three eyes. Manifest powers of Paramashivam. Om Ya Paramashivoham. Ya Paramashivoham. Ya Paramashivoham. Ya.
Projecting the picture, scan through your third eye and manifest the power of third eye.
Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Yes, now please go ahead and post whatever your third eye revealed in the chat. Anyone else? Okay, I'm projecting the picture. Guru Prasadini is good. That's good. Absolutely wonderful. And a good manifestor. Wonderful. Yes. Now you're all going to get initiation into unclutching. We're going to learn about Swamiji explaining about his guru, Arunagiri Yogeshwara, and how he initiated him, Swamiji, into unclutching. So, and we are all going to get initiation into unclutching. This is one of the most powerful initiation. It's a long video, but it's beautiful as Swamiji sharing his powerful, beautiful, sweet story of his guru, Arunagiri Yogeshwara, how he got that initiation. Let's learn and let's get initiation into unclutching.
You all have reached enough level of completion to mirror exact the neuron activity happening in my brain. So understand, please listen, all of you have reached enough level of completion to mirror whatever is happening in my brain, the neuron activity. Now, when I am narrating this experience, I want to tell you with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching and causing. I'll tell you the exact truth as it happened, authentically. When I'm going to narrate that same experience, I'll be letting it happen in my brain. I'll be letting that same experience, that same neuron activity happen in my brain. So just sit and listen from the space of feeling connection. You will see the same neuron activity just mirroring in your brain. Understand? All of you are clear? Where I was brought up. Where I was born can never be marked because it's a government hospital. If you have to make a memorial in the place where I was brought up, you should make a memorial in the temple, not in the house I was brought up, because I spent more time in the temple than the house I was supposed to be brought up, the house where my parents are staying. The moment I remember the temple, the joy experience. You all have reached enough level of completion to mirror exact the neuron activity happening in my brain. So understand, please listen, all of you have reached enough level of completion to mirror whatever is happening in my brain, the neuron activity. Now, when I am narrating this experience, I want to tell you with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching and causing. I'll tell you the exact truth as it happened, authentically. When I'm going to narrate that same experience, I'll be letting it happen in my brain. I'll be letting that same experience, that same neuron activity happen in my brain. So just sit and listen from the space of feeling connection. You will see the same neuron activity just mirroring in your brain. Understand? All of you are clear? Please listen. It was around the age of 11 and a half, before my enlightenment experience. Maybe 11. One day, as usual, I was going around the temple. Actually, temple was the place I was brought up. Literally brought up. That is why some of our ashramites and swamis trying to buy the house in which I was brought up. They were trying to buy the house. I said, if you have to make a memorial for the place where I was brought up, where I was born can never be marked because it's a government hospital. If you have to make a memorial in the place where I was brought up, you should make a memorial in the temple, not in the house I was brought up, because I spent more time in the temple than the house I was supposed to be brought up, the house where my parents are staying. moment I remember the temple, the joy experience. I can say that the temple was the place, everything for me in my life. So early morning, 4:30, the temple elephant will carry the water pot for the deity's bath, sacred bath. It will go crossing the street where we used to live. From my family temple, it will go to the main temple. My whole family and the community was very closely associated to the temple and its administration. So from my family temple, that water pot will go every morning on the elephant. They will be beating the drums and all that. The moment I hear that sound, actually I would have woken up much earlier, but the moment I hear that sound, I'll be joining the team and going and opening the temple. And the night, when the deity is put to bed, only then I'll come. And then after that I have 2 other appointments, going and seeing Ram Kumar, spending a little time with him in the cremation ground. He used to live in the cremation ground for quite a long time. Then he moved near the temple in a small house. Wherever he is, I'll go and sit with him and spend time with him. And then late night I'll come back to the house. So one day, when I was going around the temple, behind the main shrine, there's a small 4-pillared hall structure. And below that structure, there's a small kind of a cave structure. That's also a small 2-pillared structure. It can be said as cave, looks like cave. Suddenly I saw one young sadhu walking out of that cave place. This is the small cave, out of which the young sadhu walking out. See this 4-pillared structure and the small 2-pillared structure. From that small 2-pillared structure, one young sadhu walked out. I used to think it was a cave because of the darkness inside. Young sadhu walked out. If I have to describe his beauty and grace, young, well built, long hair with the sacred ash on the face and kumkum and rudraksha, only one dhoti in the hip and only one towel on the shoulder, bare chest, whole body was literally shining. Shining means really shining, glowing in the golden color. Maybe I can equate this photograph. I can't say exactly like this photograph because in this photograph they painted him more bluish. When I saw him, it was not bluish. It was more a golden color. And there was no snake around his neck or a moon around his neck. Just a very normal human form, but an extraordinary grace. The towel was only up to the lower knee level, not the whole dhoti, lower knee level. And one towel on the, you can't call that as a full dhoti. Little smaller than dhoti. And one towel on the shoulder, rudraksha. Rudraksha in the hands also, shining. Hair was left free, but it was so beautiful, you can feel it's almost like a Dakshinamurti's jata. It was standing on its own beautifully. Long hair. The main thing I had to tell, wide smile. The moment I saw him, I went and touched his feet. Any sadhu I see, I'll go and touch the feet, and now such a graceful sadhu. I ran and touched his feet. He smiled at me and very lovingly just put his hand on my head. First sight itself, I experienced a deep feeling connection. Such a strong, deep feeling connection. As usual, I have regular questions for any sadhus I see. You are from where? Who is your guru? And what do you do? Have you achieved enlightenment? In Tamil I used to ask, Atma Sakshakar Ayucha Ungalku means have you achieved the enlightenment experience? And can you teach me? My usual questions. I started asking some of my same usual questions. He smiled and he started answering. Other than the question, who is your guru? He answered everything. And then some ordinary topics. Those days the ordinary topics means when is the next Utsavam in the temple? Why are they not putting enough flowers on the deity nowadays? Which Utsavam when they are celebrating, why they are celebrating, why they are not celebrating. These are our gossips. The whole city will have gossip only about temple. Whether you talk good things or bad things, it will all be about temple. Good things will be, oh, nowadays a lot of crowd is coming for the temple. Bad thing will be, why they are not maintaining the temple properly. That's all will be the maximum rumor, gossip, we know. And all these small talks I was having. He was also sitting and having all these small talks with me. And who is who in the town? Who is doing what? They'll have to wake up. Please sit straight, don't miss initiation. Such an amazing moment, don't miss, please sit straight. So he was having all small talks with me. I was also having small talks. I still remember, I even spoke about one temple priest having an affair with a temple dancer girl. No, he spoke even about those things to me. I still remember. He was telling me, you see,
this big street Brahmin, continuously going to the 4th street? Why is he all the time going there to her house? I said, yes. And he goes there and directly comes to temple also. Doesn't even go to house and takes bath. We were having all these small talks. I still remember in Tamil he was telling, so all these small talks are also we were having. I don't know how. The day one itself we became so intimate, so close. It's not that he spoke only about Vedanta, enlightenment, the techniques to achieve enlightenment and science of enlightenment, Advaita. He even spoke who is going with whom, who is doing what. Somehow I became very close, intimate. Within one day, if I have to give the essence of my first meeting with him, I won't call Advaita, I won't call enlightenment, I won't call spirituality, I won't call I met a guru and all that. I only say, essence of that first day meeting is friendliness. He radiated. God. The amount of friendliness I felt with him, that love I felt with him. Love is a too poor word, stupid word sometimes. Friendliness, that seems to be more right word. Friendliness to the extreme, to the extent, even when I am sitting next to him, I feel like I'll put one of my finger on him, on his body, on his leg, on his hand. I'll just put one of my finger on him. Just want to be touching him. Or I'll just hold his little finger. I'm sitting and talking. One thing I wanted this to be on record. I don't want to say only I saw him, because when I was sitting and talking, the watchmen who walk in that area, or one or two people who come there to fetch water from the temple tank, they all did not look at me very weird. See, if I was sitting and talking alone, they would have looked at me very weird. They did not look at me very weird. The way they looked at me, I am sure he was seen even by them, not just by me. The sadhu whom I am talking about, he was not just seen by me, even they have seen him. I don't know how they saw him, but they were not looking at me weird. See, if you are sitting alone and talking, people who walk around, they will naturally look at you weird. You will know by how they see you. They are looking at you weirdly or just casually. I don't remember any of them talking to him or he talking to them back. But I remember very clearly few people were walking. Many times when I was sitting and talking with him, few people will walk here and there. They won't look at me like I'm sitting alone and talking. They will just see as if two people are sitting and talking and they will walk. They will go. And I have also not seen anybody coming near me or near him out of curiosity and trying to touch his feet and all that. Usually when people see the sadhus, they will try to come and touch the feet. That I have not seen. But I remember people not looking at me weirdly. The exact spot where he was sitting and I was sitting with him and speaking, you can see, that's the exact spot where he used to sit. I used to sit and speak. He will sit on the step where I am sitting now, and I will sit one step below. Sometimes he will sit the upper step, one step above. I will sit where I am sitting now. But in these few steps only, we will usually sit. And those days that grill gate was not there. The gate was I think different, maybe wood. I don't know. I don't remember now. But I don't think it was a grill gate. Anyhow, this is where we used to sit. So the day one, the essence from my memory I can collect, the essence of day one's meeting was extraordinary friendliness. It was not all about Advaita, all about spirituality, all about enlightenment. Even though my questions were all about enlightenment, he was not speaking only about enlightenment. He was making jokes, comments, funny observations about various things. I'm not able to remember that every statement by statement, sentence by sentence, but one thing I can recollect is that extraordinary friendliness he radiated and the space he gave me. I did not even feel like asking him when I started holding his toe or his little finger. I slowly put my hand on his toe and see how he responds. And I've never seen him resisting, so I just hold his toe. I used to think the more you are touching his body, more energy will pass, like electricity connection. That's a belief I had, and he was so friendly. Not only he did not resist, he entertained. That's exactly what I should say, he entertained. So first day I went up to holding the toes. I did not want to irritate him also. I'm sitting holding his toes. I think I was sitting his right side. So I was holding his left toe. He was sitting folded legs. I was holding his left toe. Maybe that is why I got Devi's grace first. Left side is Devi's now. But the amount of hair he had, still I'm wondering. It used to be up to the thighs, his thighs. Not long, thick. Whenever I see long hair, I remember him only. Anyhow, it became late night. Usually the temple watchmen, they will just go around to lock the temple, to see whether anybody is there inside the temple before locking. Those days, I was very close to the watchman, so they will say,
sometime, if I'm sitting, if you want to sleep yourself, sleep, but don't come in between the night and ask us to open the door to go out. If you want to leave, leave now, or you sleep here with us itself. But don't ask us in the middle of the night, you want to go to the house, open the door. What do you want to do? They'll give me the option. Sometime I'll go out and sometime I'll sleep there itself. Usually I'll go out because early morning to take bath, again I have to go to the house only. The temple, inside temple, the bathroom and the restroom, we will not be able to use. So we will have to go to the house only to take bath and get ready. And I also had deities, I have to do puja, my personal deities. So I have to go to the house only. So it became late night. And I remember the watchman telling in Tamil, Samingla enchiponga time achi koi putno. So with this word, I can be sure that he was seen even by the watchman, because the watchman addressed in plural. He said, "Oh Swamis, go out, we have to lock the temple. Go to your home, we have to lock the temple." So he did not address as a Swami, he addressed as Swamis. Oh Swamingla means it is he was also seeing him. That is why he addressed as both Swamis. Go out, we will have to lock the temple. Then I looked at him and told him, "Where are you staying?" He said, "I am staying in the temple only." But actually, some of the sadhus were staying in the temple at the time. They were all having their own small caves. I thought he's also staying here in one cave. I said, "Okay, then I'm going to the..." He said, "All right, go to the house and take bath and sleep and do your puja and come back tomorrow." I told him, "If I come back tomorrow, can I see you?" He said, yes, anytime come here and call my name, I'll come out. I'm here only. And he showed the cave. I was thinking that as a cave at the time. So I went to the house. I tell you, just visualize when you fall in love first time and you are waiting to meet the person again next day morning, how the clock will not move. That is exactly I was feeling. I was sitting, every 10 minutes I see the clock. I had one small alarm clock for me to get up and go to the temple. The clock will make such a noise. Everyone in the house will curse that clock and me early morning, every day. So I wake up and see the clock. It's only 12 o'clock. I lie down, sleep. Again, when I wake up and see the clock, it's only 12:10. Actually, I moved the needle. I wanted to make it as 4 o'clock. Because 4 o'clock they'll open the temple door. Then I thought, if I move only my clock, how can I make them open the temple? I waited. Around 2:30, 3 o'clock, I could not handle anymore. I ran and took bath. Did all my puja. 4 o'clock, I came and stood in the street for the elephant to come to the temple. An elephant came as usual. It came around 4-5. But at 5 minutes, I cannot tolerate. I can't handle. What happened to the elephant fellows? Nowadays, they are not following the tradition properly. I cursed his father, his grandfather, his great-grandfather, his whole Vamsa. These fellows don't do anything properly nowadays. Finally, the elephant and all the team came. Only that day I was feeling this elephant is walking very slow. Finally, we reached the temple and they opened the temple gate. I ran to this cave where I met him. Usually I run to the main Garbha Mandir, main sanctum, and have darshan only, then go anywhere. But today directly I ran. I called him Swami, Swami. Immediately he came out again. He sat. I was sitting and talking to him. I told him whole night I was thinking about you only. I saw his face expression. He was pleased, I think. He was smiling. And I saw him, that time he was dressed as usual, means one dhoti, saffron color, not the color exactly I am wearing, little light color, which we used to have earlier, that light color, and one towel on the shoulder. He was already ready with all his vibhuti and kumkum and rudraksha. I asked him, "You finished your puja?" That's the usual question. He smiled and he did not answer. Many of the questions he will just smile in a very mystical way or mischievous way. You can say both blend of mystical and mischievous. Mischievous mixed mystical. So again, second day also I sat with him and we were speaking so many things. I remember whole day passed, and I also remember in a carrier, a single carrier vessel, in Tamil they call Tukwali. In the vessel he brought food and gave me the temple prasadam. It was a copper vessel, I still remember, with a cover. I ate. He also ate with me. He was clean shaven. Only hair in the head, long hair, but no moustache or beard. Clean shaven. I was looking very young. If I have to assess his age, it will be, I surely assess less than 30. I can say 25 to 30. That is what I will assess. But well built and graceful. Tall figure. Very graceful. Must be 6 feet tall and very graceful, well built. Again, we were sitting and talking. More than talking, I know it was just spending time together. Today I got little courage, so I started holding his little finger. Only when he's talking, when he raises the hand to do some gesture, I shift my hand to his leg, his toe. Otherwise I'll be holding the hand. It went on for many days, weeks. In 10-15 days I can say, he became almost just breath of my life. My day is like, whole day I'll be with him, whole night I'll be waiting for him, that's all. How many of you wait to come for the morning satsang to see me? Then all of you can understand what I'm saying. You just wait for the next morning to happen, to rush and see him. I know, I wake up only to see him. When I wake up, he's there in my eyes. When I open my eyes, I want to see his form. When I close my eyes, his photo is there inside. If I have to describe my relationship or what was happening at that time with him, I should tell you this story. There's a beautiful example in Upanishad. Upanishad is the source book of Hinduism, just like Bible for Christianity, Quran for Islam. Vedas are the source book of Vedic Hindu tradition. And Upanishads are the main chapters of the Vedas based on which our life is running. Upanishads are more like instructions and truths about life. So in one Upanishad there's a beautiful story. In a tree, huge tree, there was a small bird which used to jump from branch to branch. Sometimes it will eat sweet fruit in the tree and jump. Some other branches will have a bitter fruit. When it eats the bitter fruit, understand it's a beautiful simile or example with an amazing truth. When that small bird eats the bitter fruit, it will feel pain. On that same tree, on the top of the tree, there was a big bird sitting, golden color, shining. The big bird neither eats bitter fruit nor eats the sweet fruit. It just sits in the peace and silence, complete completion. It's radiating its glory. The small bird, which is running between these lower level branches, sometimes when it eats the sweet fruit, it feels joyful, and bitter fruit, it feels bad. When it feels bad, it look up and see the big bird and think, see that bird, so beautiful, he's so graceful, he doesn't have any pain, any suffering. Why not me also become like that? So it will think, yes, let me go near that bird and become like that bird. It will start jumping towards that bird. But when it's going towards that bird, suddenly on the way, it eats some fruit which is very sweet. The moment it eats the sweet fruit, it will forget the big bird and it will start eating more fruit till it lands on the bitter fruit again. The moment it eats the bitter fruit again, it will look up and say, I should become like that bird. And then again it will start going towards the big bird. The small bird is spending all his life like this, jumping here, there, suddenly looking up when it eats the bitter fruit. But when it eats the sweet fruit, forgetting the big bird, forgetting everything, just eating the sweet fruits. Finally one day, by jumping like this, the small bird has somehow reached very near the big bird. And one fruit which that small bird ate was so bitter, it decided not to look this side and that side, it just locked its mouth and straight went near the big bird. When it went near the big bird, the more it went near, it felt he himself is a reflection of that big bird. And more when he went, he just merged and became one with that big bird. I don't even need to explain the concept behind the story, I think now. I've explained the example so clearly. The concept I don't even need to explain, all of you understood, I think. But I'll try to give a few more words for you to understand the concept. Big bird is the cosmic enlightened being. Paramatma, small bird is you, the individual soul. The bitter fruit is the incompletions and pains and sufferings. Sweet fruit is the once in a while small joys, completions you experience. When you experience little sweet things in the life, kind of a fulfillment, you forget about Paramatma. But when you get into the bitter fruit, you immediately remember and look up. And here, there, jumping. Somehow, when you really eat a bitterest fruit, and you decide after that you will never open the mouth again, means you will never allow any more incompletions. And straight look up and move near him. You will understand. First you will understand you are his extension. Next you will understand you are just his shadow. Third you will understand you are just his presence. Fourth you will understand you are he. Exactly. This is the exact relationship I had with him. I can say, he was my everything. Everything. One day in course of conversation, I was telling him the story, some incident about one of the great saintly enlightened disciples of Ramana Maharshi. That disciple used to write the teachings of Ramana Maharshi, and every day he will bring it and show it again to Ramana Maharshi. And if there is a mistake, spelling mistake or grammar mistake, Bhagavan will edit in his own hand, with his own handwriting. So, that sadhu, By the time actually I know his name, I asked his name, he said, Arunagiri Yogeshwara. I know his name by then. So I asked Arunagiri Yogeshwara, I was telling about this story, and Arunagiri Yogeshwara smiled and said, maybe that is the way that Swami was trying to get the handwriting of Ramana Maharshi in his notebook. And he also made a comment, just to get the Ramana Maharshi's handwriting, this Swami will make more and more mistakes. The moment I heard, immediately I got a very brilliant idea. I thought, I will also start writing and bring the notebook to you. You will pen down, you will write, I will keep your handwriting with me. And I did it. At least I had 3-4 notebooks. It's very unfortunate that we are not able to get those notebooks now. Let's see, Kalbera will get it for us. 2-3 notebooks known up to diaries, where I'll try to pen down in the night whatever I could remember we spoke, and then purposely make mistakes in writing and bring it to him next day. He will also read and smile, and purposely he knows I've done mistake purposely, and he will write few lines, few words on it, and he will do editing, means like a crossing or adding. And I very clearly remember, he has signed even once, Arunagiri Yogeshwara. So many things. We used to speak. Once I remember he told me that don't go around and tell everyone that you are every day meeting me and talking to me. I took that as an instruction, I never asked why. That was one good thing I had. If I accept somebody as my guru, that's all, I simply surrender. No question of why, what and all that. Before accepting, I will ask all the questions. The moment I accept, after that no questions asked. That was my lifestyle. Everything was going well. I remember him talking to me about various subjects. Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Vijnana Veda, Upanishads. I even remember taking 4 Upanishad book to him, which was given to me by Isaki Swami, Tamil translation of the 4 Upanishads. And where he opened and read out some lines and explained some lines to me. And I had the fortune of directly singing the Devarams of Jnana Sambandar to me. I have heard some of the great songs, Devarams, from his own mouth. I even asked him once, how do you know all this? He said in Tamil, he said, I'm here only all the time, and they are singing all the time here. Na. So I'm listening, so I know. These are all the mystical, mischievous answers. With more time passing, I got more comfortable with him. I ate with him. I slept in his lap. Sometimes he will sit, I will lean on him and stretch my leg. He was never just a guru. He was far more than that. Far, far, far more. He was much more than any fantasy you guys can have about Guru. He was just too much beyond any fantasy you can have about Guru and how you should be living with Guru. Whatever fantasy you guys may be having, how you should be living with Guru, I lived 1,000 times more and beyond with him. He is the fulfillment of all existing and possible fantasies. That's the word I utter. Existing and possible fantasies of a guru-disciple relationship. I have seen him materializing. I have seen him flying. I have seen him perform all types of miracles. I have seen him teaching me all these siddhis. While he teaches, he will perform and show. I have seen him bringing the moon directly in front of me. Understand? I am neither lying, nor I am a brain deranged person. I am neither lying, nor my brain is deranged. I am not telling you any stories. I am telling you the truth as it happened. I have heard about so many scriptures from him. Never he will take more than few minutes to explain any scriptures to me. Immediately he will show through some miracle or just like experience he will transmit. Any samyama he has to teach, he will just teach through experience. Whether the way he looks, sits, carries himself, or the words he utters, or the joy he radiates, or the friendliness he radiates, or the way he taught, everything is beyond fulfilling any possible fantasies. I have seen him making disappear the whole world other than both of us, or showing everything inside him. I have seen him showing Vishwarupa, that everything is he. So much he has transmitted to me. I don't know whether I will be able to transmit all that to humanity, at least put it in record. The time of next 126 years, I am going to be using this body. So much he has transmitted. So much he has taught. All was going well. Almost he became my life breath. And I'll even carry food from the house and he'll eat. One great thing with my mother. She's such a sweet person. Never, ever, she will say no to people, food. Any sadhu comes, any beggar comes. My mother's father is such a person. Still outside his house they have two small tanks made out of stone where they'll pour water for the dogs, cows which walk in the street for them to drink. Still they have the tradition. Even if the food is remaining, they will make it mix it with the water and keep it for the cow. Means not to own their cows or pet dogs. For the stray dogs, for the stray cows which goes around in the street. And I remember my father's side grandmother also, she will also feed any stray dog. She will get them, somehow she will become friends with them and feed them. If they have some skin disease, she will take them to the hospital. Whether it's the sadhus or pets or beggars, my house was always open. My mother was a typical village lady, waiting to feed people. So whenever I ask, I wanted to take food for some sadhus, she will immediately pack and give. She will never have a second word. She will never grumble, grudge, nothing. She will immediately pack and give. She will only ask, Swami, what do you want? You want idli or you want rice? Idli means breakfast, rice means lunch and dinner both. That's all. That is the only two menu. That's a standard menu. In any middle class house in the village, this will be the standard menu. She'll ask, what do you want? And whatever I say, she'll pack and give. I've seen Tarunini Ishwara eating with me. One day I told him, please you come to the house, my house. And he laughed and said, you come to the place where I am staying. House where I am staying. The moment he said, I know, wow, such an opportunity. I said, come on, take me. You only never took me. I told him, come on, take me. You never took me to the house where you are staying. Take me to your room. I thought inside the cave only he is staying. I know in Nirvana temple there are so many caves and I have seen the cave size of where 1,000 people can sit. Please understand. In Nirvana I have seen the caves. Such huge, large size caves, 1,000 people can sit. That size caves I have seen. With water facility and lighting. The natural lighting and water. I have seen the caves. So I thought maybe this cave will lead to his cave where he is staying. And I also know in Nirvana temple there are many underground paths, subways. So I asked him to take me to the place where he was staying. He said, come on, let's go. He entered into the cave by bending, and I remember he just held my hand and pressed. Please understand, now I want to put this on record. First time when he pressed the hand, I lost body consciousness. All these days I was with him, I never lost body consciousness. First time I lost body consciousness. So from this moment, whatever I am describing, I do not know whether physically I was part of that scene or I was taken out of my body and this experience happened. I am not able to be clear. Because the moment he pressed my hand to pull me inside the cave along with him, I lost the body consciousness. And even the scenes I remember after this were not like this worldly. He just walked into a cave and I also walked with him, and suddenly the cave opened and we came out and I saw a huge banyan tree. Little bigger than our British banyan tree. It was Arunachala Hill, that much I can very clearly say. And a huge banyan tree. And maybe some 20-30 sadhus were sitting around the seat of the Guru. The seat of the Guru was empty. They were all sitting down, meditating. The moment he walked in, all of them got up and stood and did namaskar. The way they bowed down, I know he is the Guru of that area, means Guru of that group. He went and straight sat on the Guru's seat. The way he went and sat authoritatively, I know he is the Guru. And all of them are his disciples, the elderly sadhus with a long beard, just like you listen and see in the stories. How the Dakshinamurti used to be sitting under the banyan tree and all his old disciples used to sit. That's exactly the scene. The scene happened in Kailasa, happening in Biddi. Was literally happening. I saw. The way he went and sat. Literally he sat like Dakshinamurti only. He just went and put his leg little this way, that's all. That's the way he sat. Where he put the left leg on the right leg and little closer he kept than usual posture of Dakshinamurti, you see. This is exactly the way he sat. And he started answering some of the questions they all asked. They were addressing him with so much of reverence. And they all fell flat when he sat in his seat and did namaskar and sat up. I was the only small boy in the group, but I was looking around and seeing all of them. Maybe after some time, their attention turned on me and one person said, who is this person? He is the only person without kavi here, who is not a Swami, sannyasi. That kind of it did not exactly meant I am not a sannyasi, or a person without having kavi, something like that. Because I was with my school uniform. I remember very clearly that dark blue and light blue. Must be, because 11 means by the time I already started going to the high school, 6th grade. So dark blue and light blue. In Indian villages, kids will not change, they will wear the uniform even in the holidays. They may not go to school, but they will be always wearing uniformly, same dress only. I still remember the half trouser of dark blue and shirt of light blue. That was the school uniform. And immediately that solved my Kundalini. I said, I may not be wearing kavi, I am also sannyasi only. And I saw only Yogeshwara laughed. Then he said, then why you are not wearing kavi? I asked him, you give me kavi. He laughed and he looked. Immediately I saw one sadhu brought kavi clothes. And I did not even have a second thought to remove and throw my dress. I just removed all my dress, naked I walked near him, without even having a second thought. And he himself tied that kavi cloth in my hip like a dhoti. He himself tied it. I still remember, just tied the cloth and hugged me. Gave energization, put his hand on my head. Naturally the experience was just out of the world. I came and sat in the group. Now I felt one with the group and the group also felt one with me. They did not feel now I am an outsider. One good thing, still I have that cloth given by him. Still the cloth is there. Because the cloth is there, I feel the experience is either happened in the physical plane or a metaphysical plane which gets converted to physical plane. See, there are some metaphysical experience which disappears when the conversion to physical plane happens. But there are some solid metaphysical experiences. It becomes physicality when it comes down to the physical plane. Like Ramakrishna had an experience of Rama giving him the pot full of porridge. Yeah, mud pot full of porridge. When he came down from that experience, he had the pot in his hand. The pot was there. The pot did not disappear. Only Rama's form disappeared, but the pot was there. That did not disappear. So I can say, this experience from the metaphysical plane, when it settled down into the physical plane, the items given remained. That is why I feel the experience has become physical biomemory. It remains as a physical bioenergy. And after some time, we were sitting and discussing, and all those great yogis and sadhus, they were all talking for a few minutes, and then they all sat in silence for a few minutes. They were sitting gracefully. I neither felt like asking any question, nor felt like talking. I can say from my observation, the tree looked very real because the leaves were there, fruits were there, the birds' sound I remember, birds were there, and the breeze, the tree was moving. So once it became a little dark, late evening, he said, come on, let's go back to the temple. I said, okay. Again, he brought me back. While we entered the cave, again he was holding my hand. When we came out of the cave, to the place exactly where we entered, there only he just left my hand. I saw, when he left my hand only, I came to the physical awareness. So either he took my metaphysical body to his metaphysical space, or he took my physical body itself to that metaphysical space. In these two, any one is possible. Because the cloth is there physically with me, I feel it was physical happening. But because it was completely otherworldly, looked out of the world, I'm not able to say it is only physical. I'll explain why in the next continuously. That's all. Now my ecstasy is too much. The ecstasy is too much. That new kavi, oh God. I was running around here and there, showing everyone I got a kavi, I got a kavi, I got a kavi. He left me in the temple saying that you can go now, and he went away inside his cave. First person I ran was my Guru, Mata Vibhudananda Devi, Vibhudananda Puri. Her name was Kupammal, local name. I ran to her and showed, see, I have kavi, I got kavi. But I did not get the joyful response from her. She became too serious. I did not actually expect serious response from her. I thought she would be very happy. She became very serious and asked, who gave you this kavi? I said, why? She said, giving kavi means they gave you sannyas. Actually, she was waiting to give sannyas to me. And how did they give sannyas without asking your father and mother? Now your father and mother, your parents will ask only me. Who gave you the kavi? I got a little frightened. I told her, there's a sadhu in the temple. He gave me the kavi. Take me to him. She started telling, no one will give you kavi. You have stolen from some shop. Tell me that. Tell the truth. We will give it back to that shop. I will not tell your grandfather. My grandfather is well known in the city, sorry, in the village. So everyone will be afraid of my grandfather, mother's father. I won't tell your grandfather, otherwise I'll tell your grandfather you have stolen from some shop. I got more frightened. Oh God, what is this? She's going to tell now. My grandfather has stolen. I have not stolen. I only got it. Then I said, all right, I'll take you to that Swami. Come. He only gave me. I have not stolen in any shop. She held me in her hand. She really believed I have stolen in some shop. The kids, when they go here and there in the shop, they will steal little candy, they will steal little sugar. She thought I have stolen. I told her that no, I have not stolen. I never steal, don't you know? She has high regard for me, but I don't know why. She was also confused. She wants to verify directly. When I took her directly to the cave, and I started calling Swami, 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 he did not come out. Almost 9 months. I know him. He is around me. Never. He missed coming out. He did not come out. That's all. I was shocked. One side I have to prove to her I have not stolen. Other side she is now making a big ruckus that I have been given sannyas without the parents' permission. I did not bother even about any of those things, but he is not coming out. That was too much. Then she just held my ears and started turning it. Tell the truth, where you have stolen, which shop you have stolen. That's why they will treat in the Indian villages, the kids will be treated. She's my guru, that is why I left it. I allowed her. I said, no, from this cave only that Swami came out. She dragged me and took near that cave and showed me, whom are you trying to cheat? Is this the cave? She pushed that stone and showed me. Only then I realized it was not a cave, it was a sealed, solid stone. Please understand? Only then first time I realized in that 9 months, it was a solid stone construction. It was not a cave. That is why I doubt whether he, Arunagiri Yogeshwara, taking me inside was a physical or metaphysical. Because I realized it is a stone construction, not a cave. Shock for me. She said, now I have no justification because I am not able to get Arunagiri Yogeshwara. I said it's a cave, it is not cave now anymore. I just stood. She was just turning my ears. I told her, stop, stop. And I pulled her right hand. I still remember. I told her, I promise in the name of Arunagiri Yogeshwara, on you, on me, I have not stolen this cloth. Only Arunagiri Yogeshwara gave me. With that, I slapped on her hand. So that is the usual way the kids will tell that I swear. Swearing, I swear. That is the way I did that to her. In Tamil I said, Annamaliyar Melayum, Om Melayum, Yam Melayum, Satyam Melayum. Avaru dhaan indha thoni kodutharu. Na engeyum thirudala. I told her, on Arunachala, on you, on me, I promise. I did not steal in any shop. Arunagiri Yogeshwara only gave. He used to come out of this cave only. When I put my hand and did that satya, I can say maybe this is the first energization I gave. No, the power of that experience was so alive. Maybe first time the mirror, the brain, my neuron activity mirrored in her brain. Suddenly all her doubt, everything disappeared. All her doubt, skepticism, everything disappeared. Suddenly she kneeled down. I saw in her ears, in her eyes, the tears. Her ears, whole thing is completely listening to me. She said, Unmele solriyada? Are you telling the truth? I said, yes. Now she has come to the space of listening to me. She is no more that doubting old lady. She asked, how he was looking. I described to her from where he came out. From this cave only he will come out whenever I call and he will go in. She asked, did you ask his name? I said, yes, I asked. She asked, what is the name? He said. Now it's like my zone. Suddenly with all my confidence I said, he said, his name is Arunagiri Yogeshwara. That's all. She fell at my feet. She literally fell at my feet. I was shaken because she's my guru. She fell at my feet and she was weeping profusely with tears. She said, then she got up and again she was kneeling down and said, really da? Unmele. I remember, I put my hand on her head also and said, Satyama Pati. One talamela Satyama solren. Means, promise, I swear on your head. It is truth. That's it. Maybe I can say it is a second organization for her. She said, hey, we are all meditating for years and doing tapas just to see him once. You really saw him? He gave you the kavi? You spoke to him? Now she is a complete beast. She is completely able to receive the experience I was telling. Even now I used to step, if some of the disciples are arguing, not listening, I will just touch them, that's all. After that they will listen. They will come to the space of listening. Their energy will change, will become positive. That's why these guys who want to run away, they will never meet me. They know if they meet me, they will not be able to run away. They will disappear without meeting me. She cried, and she could not handle herself. She just left me and went away to the place where she's staying, to her house, which was actually like ashram. She gave that away to Tirunamali temple. She first wanted to give it to me. Then I said, no, what am I going to do? I'm not going to physically staying in Tirunamali. Then she gave it away to temple. Now temple owns that property. Now, I have a big issue. He's not coming. I felt I breached the word he told me. He told me never to tell anybody. I feel because I told Uppamal, he is not coming, he is angry. So I shouted, screamed, Swami, please come. Don't leave me like this. I will not do this mistake again, I will not tell anybody, please don't be like this. But I could not see him coming out. One side when I remembered, she told me, Upama told me, he is directly Mahadeva, Shiva, living here in Arunachala. Ramana Maharshi talks about him. Great Siddhas have seen him. One side that was making my body just explode in joy, bliss. He himself came and gave Kavi to me. Other side, now he is not coming. So that was just squeezing my heart. If I have to describe exactly what I was going through, in Bhagavatam there's a beautiful story. One Gopika wants to go and see Krishna in the middle of the night. He is sitting in the forest and playing the flute. That sound is coming to her bedroom. Husband is not there. So she runs secretly to go and see him and come back. But the moment she came to the main door of the house, she saw the mother-in-law sitting and combing the hair of the daughter-in-law. Sister-in-law, sorry. Mother-in-law sitting and combing the hair of the sister-in-law. Even now in any Indian village, if you go and see, if you see 10 houses, in 5 houses, you can see this scene. Mother sitting and combing the hair of the daughter on the doorstep. I thought, oh God, from the time of Bhagavatam, we have not changed. 5,000 years tradition, sitting on the door frame and mother combing the hair of the daughter. And removing that lice. This is almost like a 24-hour job. If they don't have, those days no entertainment, only this hair combing. You comb my hair, then I comb your hair. So beautifully, Vyasa describes. I have to tell you the exact scene. The Gopika runs. The main door frame, the mother-in-law is sitting, and the sister-in-law is sitting, and she is combing the hair. Seeing that scene, she just stands in this door frame itself, her door frame itself, and holding the door frame with one hand. One side, when she listens the music of Krishna's flute, all the extraordinary, ecstatic memory of the time she had with Krishna and the memory of Krishna, she is in bliss. Next moment, the sister-in-law and mother-in-law are sitting like buffaloes. Because both of them are there, she cannot go out. They will ask, hey, where are you going in the middle of the night? When husband is also not there, alone. So if she steps out of the house, her character will be questioned. And they are also hearing the music of the flute. I don't know, from that time, I think this mother-in-law and sister-in-law never get your devotion and understand what you live and what you go through. Anyhow, whatever it is. Because mother-in-law and sister-in-law are sitting, she is not able to go. This is the exact story. I have to describe what I was going through at that moment. One side, now I know Mahadeva himself came. I am holding the kavi. I am touching the cloth again and again. He himself came and gave the kavi. The joy, ecstasy, pride, bliss, all that. The other side, the pain, he is not coming. The fear, he may not come at all anymore. I may miss him. That is too much. When these two happened, whatever the remaining little bit of good karmas I had got burnt by the joy and bliss, knowing that he himself lived with me and initiated me. Little bit of whatever bad karmas are left, they got burnt by that fear, whether he may not come at all. This bliss and joy and pain burnt both the karmas. I just dropped. I can say, by crying, I just slept away there itself. I should not even use the word slept. I fell into some state. I got lost. Anyhow, after some time, I think it was late night, I was sleeping in the temple. I don't want to say sleeping, lying in the temple. The temple watchmen, they will come and watch the temple. Any festival day, they will come and watch the temple in the night. So usually, I will also help them. How I help them? They will put a tube in the tap, and they will be having the broomstick and washing the floor. And we boys who are volunteering, we have to just hold the tap and mop behind them, pouring water. That's the voluntary service we used to do. So, that watchman, temple watchman, he woke me up, saying, hey, Sanapaya, that's the way he will call me. Wake up, hold the pipe for me, I have to clean. And they are going to put the deity to bed, go and have the government darshan and come back. Some of the day, I think some festival. I think it was January 1st. But still, I am not able to completely corroborate with other things. Anyhow, so the deity was put to bed a little late. He said, go and have darshan in the Mandir. They are going to close the Mandir. They are going to put the deity into the bed. Then come back and hold me the pipe. Hold the pipe for me to clean the floor. I said, okay, and I rushed. I was in that same space and state. I ran to the Mandir. I saw no priest was there, but Mandir was open. Those days, very few priests were in the temple. Many times, Mandir will be open and no priest will be there. The moment I entered the Mandapa, the hall of the Mandir, to have darshan of the deity, the moment I looked up, I saw Arunagiri was sitting on the Shivalinga. He was just sitting on the Shivalinga. I could not control myself. I screamed, Swami, are you here? Why you did not come when I called? I was talking all this and I was rushing near to touch him. Even though we were not supposed to enter the Garbha Mandir. I don't think I entered the Garbha Mandir, but I rushed towards him. I don't remember whether I entered or not entered. I was not in that mood at all to follow the rule that I should not enter the Garbha Mandir and all that. I just wanted to touch him. I ran, stretched my hand to touch him. He also stretched his hand. The moment my hand touched his hand, exactly that moment, I experienced, I saw clearly, he is me, I am him. It was just pure oneness. Pure oneness. That unclutching has happened exactly at that moment. After that, neither I missed him, nor I saw him separately. That's the exact moment, experientially, the unclutching. The pure Advaita happened. Whatever words you may use, Advaita, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Shivoham, the experience of that pure oneness happened as it is to stay once for all. I bless you all with all my integrity, authenticity, responsibility and enriching and causing. Let you all experience the ultimate, pure Advaita, the oneness. Shivoham, Shivoham. Ananda.
Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar off Mysore Road, Bedadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999.
Nityanandam, everyone. What a beautiful initiation we got and such a beautiful experience that Swamiji has shared. With this space, let's manifest the power manifestation of levitation. So now let's start manifesting the power of levitation. So please sit straight, sit cross-legged. Preferably in Padmasana, that means lotus posture, and your hands in Samana Mudra, like this, locked, and put it in your lap, and your head neck back, straight line. That's the posture you need to sit. Now, visualize Swamiji's form in your third eye. Bring back your attention to your third eye again and again and again. Any thoughts that are coming in the way, let it come, let it go. You bring back your attention to your third eye and visualize Swamiji's form in your third eye and start chanting the Mahavakya. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Start chanting the Mahavakya and experience the space of oneness. With the space of oneness, manifest the power of levitation. Declare, when you are in the oneness space, declare that to levitate, to lift off from the ground. Let us start.
Om Nityananda Parashivoham. 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 Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om.
Yes, now please go ahead and share your power manifestation experience. Please post your comments. Now we are going to see the 108 definitions of unclutching. Now after that, we are going to do a meditation. The process of unclutching can directly upgrade your consciousness, raise your inner space. When you raise your inner space, you become more authentic, healthier, wealthier, intelligent, and a leader. Clutching, declutching, and unclutching. Clutching means holding and getting attached. Declutching means breaking, completely getting disconnected. And unclutching means moving back to clutching only when it is required. You are continuously clutched to your body, your mind, and emotions with so many things. You clutch yourself with thousands of ideas created by your mind. You are clutched with your own idea of joy, pain, pleasure. If you practice unclutching sincerely in a very small level, it will bring so much of awakening in you. Try to believe that your whole life was either pain or joy. Swamiji says, one of the biggest achievements I feel very happy and proud of is that whenever I look back at my past, I don't have an idea about it. I neither feel it was joyful, nor I feel it was painful. I have no feeling at all. I do not feel my past as a chain of joy or pain. I just know my future is also free, just like my past. But unfortunately, every human being tries to develop an idea about their past as pain or pleasure. When you tell all your stories, you continuously connect with pain memories, pain thoughts and feel your life as a pain. Now let us see 108 definitions of unclutching. Crushing the source into the expression is unclutching. Space not being contaminated by meaning is unclutching. When the time is not bound by the space, it is unclutching. Unclutching means realizing the canvas is more powerful than painting. Adapa adapa of your very being without any word or mantra is unclutching. Easy or difficult, both are concepts. Realizing this is unclutching. Routine work or creativity expressing intensity is unclutching. Time and space collapsing into what is unclutching. Inner space reclaiming its original state is unclutching. Brushing the conscious with conscience is unclutching. Having balanced intelligence even while you are watched or not is unclutching. Non-involvement in the mental pleasures and pains is unclutching. Understanding and unclutching does not need mind is clutching. Realization and reality is always one and the same. Never separate. This is unclutching. God, self, world are all different words. God, self, world are all different words, not words. This is unclutching. God minus unclutching is world. Unclutching from unclutching is unclutching. Reality plus unclutching plus Guru's grace is unclutching, and world plus unclutching is God. Inner space plus unclutching is enlightenment. Full awareness without any memory is unclutching. Moving from reality to real is unclutching. Marana to smarana is unclutching, and when you move into or from any dimension like time to space or length to breadth or depth to time, it is unclutching. When you move any dimension to any dimension, what naturally happens in you is unclutching. Not connecting thought and emotions, giving life to it is unclutching. Realizing future is past and past is yet to happen. In the present, wired is unclutching. Past trying to eat the future is clutching. Stopping that is unclutching. When past threatens to have any power over you, it is clutching. Freeing you is unclutching. Unclutching is constantly happening. You need to do only resting in the unclutching. Experience evaporating. The experiencer and the experienced is unclutching. When you push the past into future, it is clutching. When you push the pure future into past, in present is unclutching. Solid past melting into liquid present and evaporating into steam future is unclutching. Not making your words and forms into experience is unclutching. Experiencing inner awakening is unclutching. Understanding as a word is unclutching. Catching it is unclutching. Subject looking into the subject objectively is unclutching. The frequency of the experiencer crossing the frequency of experience is unclutching. Past moving without the greed for future and future moving without the fear into the past is present is unclutching. Greed's fear and fear's greed colliding in awareness is unclutching. Looking at every situation with a deep, authentic, sincere awareness is unclutching. Dropping the conclusions you can be transformed is unclutching. Realizing the dreamer's ID is waker's ID is unclutching. Trying to clutching, doing is unclutching. Not letting the past swallow the future in the present is unclutching. Unclutching is a powerful, self-sufficient guide to your enlightenment, to upgrade your consciousness. It not only changes the way you perceive reality, it transforms reality itself. Unclutching is a very powerful process which touches the source where the perceiver and perceived both come out. It is the ultimate meditation technique. When your consciousness raises, you automatically become a leader of your life. You become God for yourself, Ishvara for your life. Now, any questions, please do let me know. Now, we're going to enter into the meditation, practicing and experiencing unclutching. We're going to do this for 21 minutes. So all of you, please get ready. So unclutching is the ultimate spiritual truth. This process of unclutching can directly upgrade your very consciousness. The reference Pramana for this is Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, that is Shiva Sutras, Sutra number 46, Dharana 23. Atma Pramana is from Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Sutra number 3, verse 1. Tada Drishta Swarupa Vasnam. Then the true self rests in the knowledge of its own nature. Unclutching is the essence of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. The ancient Indian sage Patanjali, who was the founder of the ancient yogic sciences, condensed the truth, explanations of which would occupy volumes, into this one short verse. According to him, unclutching, or the cessation of the mind and all its thoughts, can be achieved by understanding a few simple concepts. So don't create a thought, don't sustain a thought, don't try to destroy a fight with a thought. Just don't bother about what is going on inside you, whether thought, emotion, pain, or peace. Do not respond to anything, just decide. Let me be unclutched. Sit with that unclutched Nirvikalpa Samadhi, starting at my third eye intensely. Now, how to unclutch? Just a moment, please.
diverse. Why don't you realize? Why don't you understand? He said, you don't know, Swami. Today she'll pour coffee, tomorrow she'll pour acid. You don't know. No, he said, actually told me. You don't know. Today she'll pour coffee, tomorrow she'll pour acid. He said, why don't you be a little logical? Why don't you be a little truthful? How can you connect coffee and acid? Sometimes it feels same. How can you connect coffee and acid? Don't you see the gap is too much? You are creating too much of ideas in your head. You are creating too many things. He said, no, Swamiji, you don't know. Last 10 years, how much I suffered with her, you don't know. I told him, do not just create a pain shaft. Just come out with incidents, then we can analyze, look into it. Don't create a pain shaft. Pain shaft will stay only if you are unconscious. Please understand? Your opinion about life as pain shaft or joy shaft will stay only as long as you are unconscious, not when you are aware. I told him, just come out. Incident by incident, let us analyze. He started telling me, in South India, there's a habit, during marriage, in a small pot, they'll put a ring, and the bride and bridegroom, both of them are supposed to try to pick up that ring. Whoever gets it, it's theirs. It's a small game. These are all done. In those days, only during marriage, the bride and bridegroom will see each other. So it's like a technique for zeroing down the distance. Just to zero down the distance, this kind of simple plays are done. This guy is saying, Swamiji, even during the play, she scratched my hand with a nail. Now see the file he's carrying in his head. Very surprised. From there he started telling me, after 2-3 minutes I told, stop. Much worse than police record. Much worse than police record. I said, I think you should not ask divorce, she should ask. Living with you, she should ask. Now this is what we are doing continuously, sometime about others, sometime about ourselves. But constantly we create a pain shaft or joy shaft. One important thing we forget. Neither we elongate the pain shaft, neither we can break the pain shaft, nor we can elongate the joy shaft, because it does not exist. It does not exist. Just try to elongate the joyful moments. Try to hold on. If some joy happens, try to hold on to that experience. It won't stay. Not only that, try to reproduce the same ambience, same people, same place, same thing, everything. Even the same temperature again. You will not have the same joy. Addiction means believing that joy or ecstasy came due to some object or person or situation, and trying to reproduce the same thing again and again, even though the same joy or experience does not come back again. Understand? This is the definition of addiction. Trying to elongate the joy shaft by recreating or reproducing or again bringing the same persons, situations or incidents or the happenings in your life. If you try, knowing that same joy is not coming, is what I call addiction. Anything. Some people are addicted to partying. Some people are addicted to smoking. Some people are addicted to drinking. Some people are addicted even to newspaper reading. Especially the violent things. You do not know how much of violence you are swallowing. Understand? The more and more violence you swallow, you will become aware only if the violent pictures are moving in front of you. Means the projected light which is in front of you, inside you, the awareness that you exist, will come to life only when the violent thoughts crash in front of you. Because whatever you cherish, it's like alarm clock. You tell yourself, oh, I cherish this kind of thoughts. When those kind of thoughts are coming in front of my mind, please wake me up. It's automatic. Alarm clock. If you are enjoying lustful thoughts, whenever lustful thoughts crash your system, you will come to the awareness, I exist. If you are enjoying violence, whenever the violent thoughts come in your system, you will come to life, that I exist. If you come to life, that I exist, the thoughts will get strengthened and empowered. If you empower a particular thought again and again, when those thoughts crash your inner space, you will come back to life. It will become vicious circle. This is what I call vicious circle. You empowering negativity, and negativity bringing you back to life. You empowering again the more negativity, and the more negativity bringing you to life and excitement. That is why, if you start cherishing violence, please understand, if you start cherishing violence, you don't have to reach hell, you are in hell. Even if you reach, you won't find any difference. You won't find any difference. See, I'm not talking about getting the information about life, some accident, some murder. This all knowing about life, to be safe. That is not I'm talking about. Many times we enjoy violence, reading tabloids and seeing violent things in the media, especially reading tabloids. It's called letters, they call it selling violence. Very strong words, I don't want to use those strong words. Selling violence. The other day I was reading an article, very scientifically. In any city, if the boxing competition or boxing programs happen, what do you call in India? Same boxing. Fighting. This kind of programs happen, the public programs, I think in India it doesn't happen. The West is very common. Boxing, fighting happens, within 30 days, the crime rate of the city goes up by 30%. You'll be surprised. Same way, the other study, if a group of people meditate sitting in the center of the city, within 30 days, 67% crime rate comes down.
Let's move on to do the unclutching meditation, practicing the unclutching now. So all of you please sit straight. With your head back, straight line. If you have any questions, please do let me know about unclutching. Now let's get ready to practice the unclutching.
Paramashivoham, Om Nityananda 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 Paramashivoham. 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 Om
Any questions practicing this meditation? Please do let me know. You have any questions, clarifications practicing this unclutching? Please do let me know. Now, we're going to listen to unclutching, ways of unclutching from Swamiji's own voice. Should we hold the breath? There is a question. Should we hold the breath? There is this unclutching with pranayama. See, pure unclutching, when you're doing the pure unclutching, you do not have to hold. But when you do the unclutching, along syncing with the breathing, syncing with your breath, meaning inhale as slowly as possible. Then you hold it. When you hold it with the unclutching, you'll be able to do a long gap. Then breathe out, exhale as slowly as possible. Then before inhalation, again, there's a gap, at the gap, unclutch. Then again, inhale as slowly as possible. So definitely in these two gaps, with inhalation and before inhalation and exhalation, and the gap between exhalation and inhalation. You hold the breath, yeah, unclutching happens. That's where you experience Sadashiva, experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Now let's listen more from Swamiji. Unclutching Sadashiva Rahasya. State of Paramashiva is achieved by unclutching. It's a beautiful story. Listen to the story, really beautiful. A man was fishing in the river one day. He was sitting for a long time without catching any fish. He dozed off with the fishing rod in his hand. Suddenly, a heavy fish caught the bait and tugged at it. The man just tumbled into the water before he could wake up. A boy was watching this from a distance. He asked his father, "Dad, was he catching the fish or was the fish catching him?" So what is the significance of this story? Was he catching the fish or was the fish catching him? What is the significance of the story? You can post your comments. So what is Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Nirvikalpa means being without any changes. Vikalpa means changes, oscillation, diversion, dilution, differentiation. All these can be different meanings of the word Vikalpa. Nirvikalpa means without any of these. When one achieves Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he literally becomes God. He becomes one with the ultimate. Nirvikalpa Samadhi means your whole being, your whole identity dissolving into the cosmic experience. The individual inner space has no more disturbances, differences. Buddha says, whenever I sit in meditation, I'm going to get up after a few hours, I never become enlightened. Once I decided, if I am not going to become enlightened, I'm not going to get up from the seat. Let this body dry up in this very place. Until I become enlightened, I am not going to move. Buddha says that moment created that strong clarity, the authentic sankalpa, the next second you become enlightened. How can I attain it? Unclutching is not even a path leading to Nirvikalpa Samadhi. It is a process directly giving you the experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The moment you start unclutching, you are falling into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The Shastra Pramana is from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 45 and 46, Dharana 22. The meaning of this is he who contemplates and cognizes firmly and steadily the infinity above, the infinity at the base, and at the heart, in the middle, in him there arises simultaneously because of his being free and complete from all thought currents. Then the state of Nirvikalpa, the pure listening, the state of complete completion is revealed, the state of Sadashiva. From the state of Sadashiva, Nirvikalpa manifests all powers of Sadashiva. Apta Pramana. From Yoga Sutra number 92, from Sadhana Pada, chapter 2, 41st verse. There arises purification of the sattva, cheerfulness of the mind, concentration, conquest of the organs, and fitness for the realization of the self. If you are able to be unclutched without falling into the abyss of chaos or confusion or incompletion, powerlessness, you will just catch this smart decision of unclutching. Not only that, it will start manifesting Shaktis in you. State created by being in oneness with Paramashiva will make the command, the Sankalpa you make, manifest immediately. If not, you are only manifesting less power. So the solution is manifesting more power, not questioning the legitimacy of the science or your ability to live that science. Now, let's listen from Swamiji.
Paramashiva's direct message from Kailasa. Absolute unclutching is the extremely enlightening fuel for your life. Understand? Fundamentally, your consciousness. What excites you, what triggers you into action, what makes you fully alive, awakened, that is your resource, your fuel. Listen, your fuel need to be right and pure. Please listen. If you use the right fuel, right resource to excite you, inspire you, energize you, you will have respect for yourself. You will have respect for yourself. I tell you. If you use meat as fuel for your body, slowly but very definitely, even you will lose respect for yourself. If you use alcohol to pass your time, to pass your life, even you will not have respect for your life. Hey, if you are deluded in alcohol, why should you assume even one body? You asked Paramashiva, and Paramashiva gave you this body. If you are deluding yourself in alcohol and keeping you dull, passing your life, it is absolute abusal of your body. And Paramashiva who gave you this body. Come to basic understandings and integrity. Listen. If you come to basic understanding and integrity, your life will be beyond your body. I'm telling you. Chidambaram and Mahapremaya in Dubai, their father passed away. But every day he is sitting in the room for the satsang. And I'm telling you, every day he is there, as usual, how he sits, he is sitting there, attending satsang sincerely. Because body is no more binding factor for him. He became so intensely connected to me. His body was not binding him anymore. I tell you. Reach a space where your body never binds you. Body should not be binding you. The fuel you use decides your future. Let unclutching, intense unclutching, be the fuel for your consciousness. Listen to every statement I am uttering. Use this lockdown period all over the world. Change the fuel for yourself. You may be using wrong fuels in the past. Now, this lockdown period is the best time to shift the fuel for your system. I tell you. Nirahara Samyama itself is to change the quality of the fuel. Change the fuel. I want you to know, if you feed right fuel to your consciousness, that will naturally manifest as powers, health, energy, strategy, intensity, wealth, enlightenment, all the auspicious. All you need to do is change the fuel for your consciousness, prana, for your consciousness. I'm so happy all over the world. Thousands of people are sitting unclutched. We already made 4,41,000 minutes. People sitting unclutched all over the world. We need to reach out to every individual and make every individual understand. Unclutching should be your source, resource, and fuel. Your source, resource, and fuel. Understand? Your source, resource, and fuel. Two upper sannyasis are conducting from all over the world. I want all these upper sannyasis also to collect all my satsangs on unclutching. How to make the unclutching easy experience, nirvikalpa samadhi. Collect all these satsangs and share. I tell you, unclutching is the most powerful and universal. Whatever may be your religious background, you will not have resistance for unclutching. It's too easy. Whatever may be your jati, varna, religious background, race, gender, anything, the unclutching will not have resistance. It's too smooth. You can just experience. I tell you. I really want to tell you. Unclutching is the most easiest, powerful, and universal way of manifesting the state of Paramashiva. We should collect all the satsangs I have given on unclutching. I think from 2005, I started teaching, revealing this science of nirvikalpa samadhi to the whole world, the unclutching to the whole world. I have given a detailed, at least 100 hours of satsangs on various aspects of unclutching and various methods to unclutch. I request every one of you to watch this satsang sincerely. This at least 100 hours. All the upper sannyasis can do a compilation of this 100 hours of unclutching satsangs, nirvikalpa samadhi initiation, and share it with every participant who is participating in this nirvikalpa samadhi jnana yajna. Understand? Make the unclutching as your fuel for life. I tell you, it will be such an extreme, exciting, enlightening lifestyle. Nothing will disturb you or shake you. You can reach this tinyurl.com/unclutching. I think the spelling needs to be corrected. Tell you, ginger will melt all the fat in the liver. Unclutching will melt all the karmas, toxins on your bioenergy. You will have the most purest body and mind if you add unclutching as your fuel. I have elaborately explained this process of nirvikalpa samadhi and unclutching. And I tell you, the unique contribution of Paramashiva through this body, through this being. Watch these unclutching videos. Learn the process of nirvikalpa samadhi, manifesting Paramashiva state. This is the foundation for any spiritual seeker to manifest the state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and Kailasa of Paramashiva. Understand? supreme unclutching makes you work and be active in hundreds of dimensions of life, simultaneously, spontaneously, cohesively. Listen, very cohesively. Who lived around me, they know at a time I can handle 50 different departments, heads, giving them instructions and receiving updates from them and giving them further instructions. Whether it's a ritual department or sacred arts department or vision department or garden department, all the ministers can be at a time around me. I can remember for each department the instructions I gave from 2001 and repeat the battle. Multi-dimensions of your being will work spontaneously, intensely, cohesively, coherently, without getting overlapped or confused. Listen. The racist devils, the racist terrorists can never understand the power of unclutching. That's why they are afraid of Hinduism. Hinduism teaches the unique science of Nirvana Samadhi, from where all knowledge, all the best things opens. Okay? Like ginger melts the fat on your liver, unclutching melts all the toxins in your system. Unclutching radiate the state of Paramashivoham. That's the essence of today's session. Today, let us dedicate our time and energy to watch unclutching substance and share it with the whole world. The unclutching substance. So with this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, passing, living Shuddhat Vaita Saivam. The state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and Kailasa of Paramashiva. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. The eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful. This message from Kailasa. Purpose of my incarnation is to manifest Sri Kailasa with the grace of Paramashiva and Parashakti, Ganapati, Nandi, Subramanya, Mahakala Bhairava, all the gods and goddesses of Kailasa. Understand? Let me explain what I mean by the word manifesting Kailasa. It means multiple levels. Manifesting the Maha Kailasa in Bhuloka as Sri Kailasa. Each one of us has to manifest Paramashiva. The state of Paramashiva. Understand? State of Paramashiva means absolute unclutched. Gravity is never felt by you. Is state of Paramashiva. Understand? The food your stomach is digesting, the emotions your heart is digesting, the thought current your head is digesting, all the three.
should not be heavy. So light, you don't experience gravity. Understand? Gravity is experienced by you as heaviness in the stomach, heaviness in the heart, heaviness in the head. The food you digest in the stomach, the emotions you cherish, you digest in the heart, the thought currents you are digesting in the head. If all these three are light, does not make you feel the gravity, heaviness, load, you are unclutched. This is the definition. Understand? If the food in the stomach is not making you feel the gravity, you are nitya nirahari. Vyasa, after eating from Gopikas, he says, if I'm on Upavasa, Nirahara, let this Yamuna part way and give way for me. And Yamuna parted. I tell you, if the food you take does not make you feel the gravity, heavy, means the quantity, quality, and the way you take, you are Nitya Upavasi, you are Nitya Nirahari. The emotions you cherish in the heart does not make you shiver, send chills in your spine, sends strong fears in your system, doesn't make you feel heavy, then you are unclutched. The thought currents you are cherishing in your head is not making you feel sad, frustrated, depressed, then you are unclutched. Understand? Unclutching. Unclutching. Intensely, sincerely. Unclutching, unclutching. Intensely and sincerely. Nothing can be compared to the ability of unclutching as a wealth to be earned in this life while you are alive. Understand? While you are in the body, the highest, greatest, best wealth you need to achieve is ability to unclutch. It's just my ability to unclutch, I'm still alive. Understand? Please listen. It is just because of my ability to unclutch, I'm still alive. Otherwise, long before, should have been gone. If I had mind, I would have had mental breakdown long before. Because I don't have one, I'm not having breakdown. Ability to unclutch makes you a different metal altogether. And just because of the ability to unclutch, I'm going to live for a long time. 3-digit, that I already decided. 3-digit years. It's not 2-digit, it's 3-digit. I'm very clear. Greatest blessing you can receive from Paramashiva is ability to unclutch. You should keep this as your first prayer. Prabhu, let me unclutch from everything and be in you. That's it. That should be the first prayer. Highest priority for all of you. I tell you, it is just because of my ability to unclutch, all the best things have manifested in me. So if you ask me the first word of my teachings, I'll say unclutch. Watch those satsangs. I started using this word unclutch first time when I gave the satsang on Ashtavakra Gita, the day my father attained Mahasamadhi. The way I uttered those words rang in the ears of my father and he unclutched and attained Mahasamadhi. It was power of unclutching, which is still keeping me alive. I tell you. Unclutch, unclutch, unclutch. That makes you a different metal altogether, especially if you unclutch. Because of my initiation, you just relax in Paramashiva. Rest in Paramashiva. RIP should have a new meaning. Rest in Paramashiva. Understand? Nothing like unclutching. Nothing like unclutching. If people ask me, especially our devotees ask, what should we teach first to people, to common man? Teach unclutching. If you have only 2 minutes to talk to somebody and you want to enrich that person's life, teach him unclutching. In every level, unclutching enlightens people, liberates people. Even trying to unclutch removes tons of fear strokes and loads of fears away from you. Watch the unclutching satsangs. Start living light, where gravitation does not have influence over you. Understand? Only a non-violent person can be light. a cunning, violent, traitor, culnaries cannot be light. Feeling light and not being disturbed by gravity is a power of Paramashiva. Power of Paramashiva. Understand? It's power of Paramashiva. The first reason for my manifestation, for my incarnation, to manifest Sri Kailasa. First step for manifesting Sri Kailasa is each individual being manifesting the state of Paramashiva. State of Paramashiva manifests when you are unclutched. Space of Paramashiva manifests when you start living authenticity, integrity, responsibility, enriching life of completion. Powers of Paramashiva starts manifesting when you start living oneness. Start living in oneness with Paramashiva. It's being and Paramashiva's being and Paramashiva's super consciousness manifests in all of us by Diksha, initiation, Guru's grace and blessings. Understand? Kailasa is a space, but wherever Sri Kailasa, the space is imbibed and manifested, it starts happening in place also by the grace of Paramashiva and Parashakti. Understand? When each one of you become Paramashiva, wherever you are, that place becomes de facto spiritual embassy of Sri Kailasa. Watch the satsangs about unclutching. Watch the satsangs about authenticity, integrity, responsibility, enriching and completion. Watch the satsangs about the oneness with Paramashiva, and oneness capsules can directly connect you with Paramashiva. Manifest the state, space, powers, being and super consciousness of Paramashiva. You will manifest Sri Kailasa. Listen carefully. Listen. Nothing can be compared to the spiritual depth you achieve and manifest in life. I want all my sannyasis to know. So many sannyasis, adhyavasis, devotees are sending messages to me through various channels. What can we do during this time, Swamiji? What can we do? How can we stand up? How can we protect the Sangha? I tell you one thing. Intensify the quality of your consciousness with more unclutching, more authenticity, responsibility, integrity and enriching and completion. More oneness with Paramashiva. Understand more and more initiation and feeling connection with the Guru. Nothing can be more powerful than the spiritual strength. Many people, devotees are saying, many sannyasis, brahmacharis, adhyavasis, kailasa are sending message. They all feel even they all have contributed directly, indirectly for this kind of attacks. They are all responsible by not doing what need to be done. So many were asking, what should we do now? This is the solution. Intensity of your unclutching and intensity of your integrity to Guru will be one and the same. Raise the intensity to unclutch. Raise the intensity of your completion. Spend time in completion with yourself and with everyone around you. More completion within the Sangha. More trust on each other. More love. More joy. Less negativity. The depth of the completion you carry, the depth of the unclutching you carry, the depth of the integrity you carry, the depth of the oneness with Paramashiva you carry, that really matters. If at all I expect anything from my sannyasis, disciples, Kailasa-vasis, devotees, I expect only this. Increase the intensity of your unclutching, increase the intensity of your AIRE, authenticity, integrity, responsibility, enriching, and completion. Raise the integrity with Paramashiva. Raise your intensity of oneness with Paramashiva. The moment you chant Mahavagya, you should be able to see him in your inner space alive. The moment you remember the master, you should be able to feel the Kundalini in your being, in your superconsciousness. Increasing the spiritual strength is the real work I want all of you to do. That is the real Sangha work. If you learn unclutching, every gift I bring from Kailasa, Sri Kailasa, will start working for you immediately. Understand? I have so much already brought. Actually, to tell you honestly, the science of Kalpavriksha, the science of flowers and fruits from Kailasa, listen carefully, science of Parijata, Kalpavriksha, Kamadhenu, all are ready. I can make the DNA of Kamadhenu. I can make the whole root of Kalpavriksha. I can make the combination, the unique manifestation of Parijata. Everything is ready. I just need a few hundred people who mastered unclutching and who are ready to be integrated. I'm just working for the whole humanity. Understand? I can just put that science in all of you and you can start manifesting. Just, I need a few hundred of you evolved, absolutely untouched. So I can, with the grace of Paramashiva and Parashakti, bring the gods and goddesses of Kailasa to manifest through each of you. These great gifts of Kailasa to manifest through each of you. That is why I'm telling, when you say you are Paramashiva, Paramashiva does not feel angry, irritated, threatened, violated, disrespected. No, he feels so happy. Now I'm going to manifest one more body. I tell you, Hindu God celebrates expansion. He does not feel threatened. There is no monopoly. There is nothing on the universe which is monopoly. I tell you, catch this truth. Monopoly, exclusivity is false, deluded idea of Maya. Nothing is exclusive, including the state of Parama is not exclusive. Understand? This is the greatest declaration of Hinduism. Make this as today's statement. This is the essence of satsang. Nothing is exclusive, including the state of Paramashivatva. This is the ultimate declaration. Is Paramashiva is so happy if you declare you are Paramashiva and ready to stand with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching as Paramashiva. He feels, wow, I have one more being through which I can manifest now. Hindu God is not jealous. Hindu God is not violent. Hindu God does not feel violated. Hindu God does not claim anything as exclusivity. This is the beauty of the principle of God in reality and in Hinduism. Hinduism is all about reality, I tell you. I wanted to reveal one more important secret. Each sampradaya in Hinduism has Kandana Mandana literature. For example, Shaivism has a set of books called Kandana Mandana books. Like they will deny, destroy all other arguments and definitions and explanations and establish only theirs as the ultimate. Same way Vaishnavites will have a set of scriptures books, destroying all the arguments and claims of the other sampradayas and establishing theirs as the ultimate truth. And same way Advaitis will have one set of Kandana Mandana books and Visishtadvaitis will have one set of Kandana Mandana books. Listen, all these Kandana Mandana literature should be taken as an inspiration to integrate you and intensify you in those sampradayas, not to waste your time in window shopping. Get into work and get into enlightenment, get into any one sampradaya to experience the reality, to push you towards the experience. These Kandana Mandana literatures are used. Do not take Kandana Mandana literature as truth. They are kind of a facts with a purpose. Facts with a good purpose can be used for that purpose. But that is not ultimate truth. Be very clear. So, I want all of you to know, in Hindu tradition, each sampradaya has its own Kandana Mandana literature. Bauddhas have Kandana Mandana literature, Advaitis have Kandana Mandana, and Vedantis have Kandana Mandana, and even Vedantis and Advaitis differ. You will be surprised to know Vedanta and Advaita is not same. The Vedanta Sampradaya is different and Advaita Sampradaya has its own theories, and even inside Advaita Sampradaya there is a Sampradaya of Mayavada, Yaganvada, Ajata Siddhanta, Vivarta Siddhanta. Each Siddhanta has their own Kandana Mandana literatures, and Buddhism has their own Kandana Mandana, Jains have their own Kandana Mandana, Veerashaivites have their own Kandana Mandana, and Dvaitis have their own Kandana Mandana, and Shaktas have their own Kandana Mandana, and Gaumaras have their own Kandana Mandana, and Ganapatyas have their own Kandana Mandana. So understand, the Kandana Mandana literatures means Kandana Mandana literature is mostly like destroying others' arguments and insisting their sampradaya is the ultimate truth. So listen, these Kandana Mandana literatures are created for the purpose of making you start travel in the path instead of just window shopping and looking around all the corners. You need to fall in love, deciding to fall in love. I have seen some of the people, just by their decision, they built love. It is not even like a unconsciously built, very consciously built. Very consciously built. Just by the decision they built. If you build a love by the decision, consciously, you will be so stable. Consciously building love. Decision to build love. not only makes you light, makes you intense. Intensity and being light is one and the same. A light being will be intense in the life, an intense being will be light in the life. Listen. Listen carefully. Depth of the being, where the authentic Paramashivatva manifests, is available in all of us. And if Paramashiva has kept that possibility to all of us, he expects all of us to manifest him. Paramashiva manifesting Paramashivatva is not exclusive, and he does not claim exclusivity, and he is happy to include all of you. He is waiting to welcome all of us. That is why Kailasa does not have gate. Kailasa is gateless space. This bloody Ravana wants to take Kailasa, goes directly and touches the Kailasa. And he is not able to take, that is different. Actually, this Ravana, he went and asked the Swarna Bhavana that built for Devi after the marriage, this Vishwakarma, went and pestered Devi. Let me make a griha for you, beautiful house in gold, with ratna and everything. Devi said, no, go and ask Bhagavan, Paramashiva. I don't feel I need anything. I just need only his lap and I'm happy there. But this Narada fellow never lets anybody rest in peace. And this fellow goes and tells Devi, you are going to have now Ganapati, Subramanya, all the kids, where is Devi? You need to have a griha. But he says, no, I'm okay, leave it. But this fellow, like a media. And he says, no. I will ask Paramashiva. Parvati says, all right, if you want to ask, you ask. Then Devi was near Bhagavan. He goes and asks, let's have a Swarna Griha. Chintamani Griha. That's the exact word. Chintamani Griha. In Kailasa. Paramashiva says, why? No, kids are going to come. Ganapati, Subramanya, all of them. Paramashiva said, today you don't have any other work. You come to Kailasa. Narada says, Narayana. No. I just came. I thought I'll do some good things in Kailasa, so I came. And Paramashiva laughs and looks at Devi. Devi was neither saying yes nor saying no, because Narada went and convinced Devi, and Devi said, I'm not asking. Paramashiva said, all right, if this Vishwakarma is insisting, make it. They made, and there was a Griha Pravesa where Ravana came and Ravana did all the rituals. And Paramashiva asked, you did all the rituals, and what's the dakshina you want? That guy was so enamored by the space and the ecstasy, joy of Kailas. He should have asked, Bhagavan, you manifest this Sri Kailasa in Sri Lanka. He should have asked that. But the fool thought that place is the reason for that ecstasy, bliss, without understanding that space. Bhagavan is the reason. Paramashiva is the reason for the bliss of Kailasa. Of course, Kailasa itself is beautiful. I'm not disrespecting. But Paramashiva is the source of Kailasa. This fool thought this beautiful Chintamani Griha is the reason for the bliss of Kailasa, and he asked to give me this house itself. Bhagavan said, Tatastu, take it. And the fool took the Chintamani Griha and kept it in Sri Lanka. In 1 month, he realized it is his house only, back. Maybe golden house, beautiful house, but the space is same. How he is. He is not experiencing what he had in the Kailasa. That bliss is not there. Then he realized he should get that full space. And even then, he should have went and asked Bhagavan, Prabhu, you please bless me that whatever bliss I was experiencing here, I should have that always. Bless me for that. Whatever he said, and then Rakshasa. He did not ask. He himself strategized. Maybe that whole hill is the reason for that bliss. Come on, let me just go and pick that whole hill and bring it here and keep it in Sri Lanka. Hey. Kailasa tiada asik much maniye. Sri Kailasa asik mudiyumada. Yenda. Purinjukundra. Anyhow, the fool goes and puts the hand and tries to shake Kailasa. And they looked at Paramashiva. Paramashiva just pressed through his thumb, and the Kailasa, that's it. The fellow got caught inside and screaming, Bhagavani. Then started playing Samagana, begging Bhagavan to release him. After that, Bhagavan, out of his grace and compassion, released and let him go. All that is different. Listen carefully. Manifestation of Sri Kailasa means, first, Paramashiva should manifest in all of us. Then he manifests Sri Kailasa for all of us. First, the state, space, powers, being, and super consciousness of Paramashiva should manifest. The good news is Paramashiva is not aiming exclusivity or jealous. He is just waiting for all of us to declare and manifest to all of us. Even if you are half of declaring, he manifests and helps you to completely declare and manifest completely. He supports us in our virtuous circle. With a little 10% confidence and trust, you declare, I am Paramashiva, let me see. Then one miracle you cast. Yes, I have cast. I am manifesting powers. Good. I am able to move coconut. Then with 15% of trust, you declare, yes, I am Paramashiva. Let me start unclutching. Then next power manifests. Wow, I'm able to move the matter. Then, wow, with 25% of the trust and intensity, I am Paramashiva. Then more powers manifest, more state, space, powers, being, super consciousness, more joy. All that starts manifesting. Then more trust, intensity, more stronger declaration of oneness with Paramashiva. This is what I call virtuous circle. Paramashiva encourages this virtuous circle. He supports us in this virtuous circle. He appears in deities, Archavatara, in Guru, in Linga, in Sangha, and helps us in this virtuous circle. To help us in this virtuous circle, he manifests as Guru, Linga, and Sangha. He manifests as Guru, he manifests as Linga in Archavatara, he manifests as Sangha, the right friends who integrate you to Guru and Linga. Understand? nothing can be compared to, listen, nothing can be compared to spiritual strength. If you want Sri Kailasa to manifest, you have to manifest Paramashiva. You have to intensely connect with him. Prabhu, Mahadeva, let me melt in you. Paramburule, Paramashiva. You please manifest in this being. Nothing is equivalent to the spiritual strength. If any of my devotees, followers, disciples wants to give any Guru Dakshina for my birthday, I will ask you to be more and more integrated to Paramashiva. More and more integrated to Paramashiva. Listen. Be more unclutching, more authenticity, integrity, responsibility, enriching practice, more practice of completion, more practice of oneness, more and more manifesting powers, living in the state, space, powers, being, and superconsciousness of Paramashiva. If you ask me, how can we stop these attacks, abuses? This is the solution. Be more stronger spiritually. Evolve with more integrity. If each of us can raise in integrity, completion, unclutching, we can destroy the collective negativity of the universe. What the small abuses? We can teach and reach the whole world. Tell you. Kailasa is a space which should manifest in our inner space, then naturally it will manifest in place. Understand? Each one of you should become Paramashiva and Parashakti. The place where you stay. Understand? Manifest Paramashiva in your inner space. The place wherever you are will become de facto spiritual embassy. Only want one thing from all of you. Have more and more, deeper and deeper integrity to Paramashiva. Integrity to Guru, Linga, Sangha. Connect with Paramashiva. Meditate on Paramashiva with the 25 heads and 50 hands and 75 eyes, with Devi Parashakti in the lap, in Maha Kailasa. And let's pray to him to manifest in all of us and manifest Maha Kailasa in Bhuloka as Sri Kailasa. Let's connect with Paramashiva. Paramashivoham. Namaste Asvarudra Rupebhya.
Gentlemen, everyone. Now it's time for experience, for all of us to experience unclutching. Now let's learn how to do the unclutching one more time. So after hearing the powerful revelation on unclutching, let us now experience unclutching. We will now watch
You have already watched this. Yes. So any thought that raises in your inner space, decide you're not going to support that thought. You're not going to support that thought. You're not going to destroy that thought. You're not going to encourage that thought. You're not going to create a new thought. Without creating, maintaining, and destroying, just sit. When you don't do the job of creation, maintenance, and destruction, you become one with existence. Just sit in a relaxed way, close your eyes, and unclutch from every thought. Don't miss a single thought in your inner space. Don't be unconscious. Unclutch from every thought. When thought rises in you, just decide, I am not going to support it, encourage it, and I will just unclutch from it. I will just distance myself from it. Just the simple will, I will unclutch is enough. The thought will lose power over you. After a few seconds, again, other thought may come. Unclutch from that thought also. Slowly, after a few seconds, except the thought of unclutching, nothing else will be there. Unclutch from that thought also. Unclutch even from the technique of unclutching. When you unclutch honestly, authentically, automatically, your Kundalini energy rises. Your Kundalini is awakened and your body may levitate. Whatever happens, let it happen. Unclutch from everything. Just be unclutched. Any questions, please do let me know. Now it's time to let's practice the unclutching some more time as we just discussed.
Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda 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 Paramashivoham. नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ 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 नित्यानन्द